The agreement on constitution of a green hydrogen task force will be exchanged between His Excellency Mr. Hervé Delphin, EU Ambassador to India, and Sri C.B. George, Secretary West in the Ministry of External Affairs. Lastly, two documents, namely the MOU between the Reserve Bank of India and the European Securities and Market Authority, and the administrative arrangement on advanced electronic seals and signatures, will be exchanged between His Excellency Mr. Hervé Delphin, EU Ambassador to India, and Sri Saurabh Kumar, Ambassador of India in Brussels. Before I conclude this segment on exchange ceremony, I would also like to announce that India and the European Union have agreed on a strategy document titled Towards 2030, a Joint India-European Union Comprehensive Strategic Agenda. I now request the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs to conduct the rest of the proceedings.
Good afternoon, His Excellency Mr. Antonio Costa, President of the European Council, and Her Excellency Ms. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable Ministers, members of both delegations, distinguished guests, and friends from the media. We will now have the press statements. May I request Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to give his remarks to the media.
Your Excellencies, President Antonio Costa, our President Ursula von der Leyen, दोनों देशों के डेलीगेट्स, मीडिया के साथियों, नमस्कार। अपने दो करीबी मित्रों, प्रेसिडेंट कोस्टा और प्रेसिडेंट von der Leyen का इस अभूतपूर्व भारत यात्रा में स्वागत करते हुए मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है। कोस्टा जी अपनी सरल जीवन शैली और समाज के प्रति प्रेम के आधार पर लिस्बन के गांधी के नाम से जाने जाते हैं और उर्सुला जी जर्मनी की पहली महिला रक्षा मंत्री नहीं, यूरोपियन यूनियन कमीशन की भी पहली महिला प्रेसिडेंट बनकर पूरी दुनिया के लिए एक प्रेरणा है। कल एक ऐतिहासिक क्षण था जब पहली बार यूरोपियन यूनियन के लीडर्स भारत के गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह में मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में शामिल हुए। आज एक और ऐतिहासिक अवसर है जब विश्व की दो सबसे बड़ी लोकतांत्रिक शक्तियां अपने संबंधों में एक निर्णायक अध्याय जोड़ रही है। फ्रेंड्स, पिछले कुछ वर्षों में भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के संबंधों में उल्लेखनीय प्रगति हुई है। साझा लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों, आर्थिक सिनर्जी और मजबूत पीपल टू पीपल टाइज के आधार पर हमारी साझेदारी नई ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंच रही है। आज हमारे बीच 180 बिलियन यूरो का ट्रेड है। 8 लाख से अधिक भारतीय यूरोपियन यूनियन के देशों में रह रहे हैं और सक्रिय योगदान दे रहे हैं। हमने स्ट्रेटेजिक टेक्नोलॉजी से लेकर क्लीन एनर्जी, डिजिटल गवर्नेंस से लेकर डेवलपमेंट पार्टनरशिप, हर क्षेत्र में सहयोग के नए आयाम स्थापित किए हैं। इन्हीं उपलब्धियों के आधार पर आज की समिट में हमने समाज के सभी वर्गों को लाभ पहुंचाने वाले कई निर्णय लिए हैं। फ्रेंड्स, आज भारत ने अपने इतिहास का अब तक का सबसे बड़ा फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट संपन्न किया है। आज 27 तारीख है। ये सुखद संयोग है कि आज ही के दिन यूरोपियन यूनियन के 27 देशों के साथ भारत ये एफटीए कर रहा है। यह एक ऐतिहासिक समझौता हमारे किसानों, हमारे छोटे उद्योगों, इसके यूरोपियन मार्केट तक पहुंच आसान बनाएगा, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में नए अवसर पैदा करेगा और हमारे सर्विसेज सेक्टर के बीच सहयोग को और प्रबल करेगा। इतना ही नहीं, यह एफटीए भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के बीच इन्वेस्टमेंट को बूस्ट करेगा, नई इनोवेशन पार्टनरशिप बनाएगा और वैश्विक स्तर पर सप्लाई चेन को मजबूत करेगा। यानी यह सिर्फ ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट नहीं है, यह साझा समृद्धि का नया ब्लूप्रिंट है। फ्रेंड्स, इस महत्वाकांक्षी एफटीए के साथ साथ हम मोबिलिटी के लिए भी एक नया फ्रेमवर्क बना रहे हैं। इससे भारत के स्टूडेंट्स, वर्कर्स और प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए यूरोपियन यूनियन में नए अवसर खुलेंगे। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में हमारा लंबे समय से एक व्यापक सहयोग रहा है। आज हमने इन महत्वपूर्ण लिंकेजेस को भी और मजबूत करने का निर्णय लिया है। फ्रेंड्स, रक्षा और सुरक्षा सहयोग किसी भी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की नींव होती है और आज हम इसे सिक्योरिटी एंड डिफेंस पार्टनरशिप के जरिए औपचारिक रूप दे रहे हैं। इससे काउंटर टेररिज्म, मैरीटाइम और साइबर सिक्योरिटी में हमारी साझेदारी और गहरी होगी। यह रूल्स बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर के प्रति हमारी साझा प्रतिबद्धता को भी बल देगा। इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में हमारे सहयोग का दायरा और बढ़ेगा और इसके साथ हमारी डिफेंस कंपनियां को डेवलपमेंट और को प्रोडक्शन के नए अवसर साकार करेगी। फ्रेंड्स, आज की इन उपलब्धियों के आधार पर हम अगले 5 वर्ष के लिए एक और भी एम्बिशियस और होलिस्टिक स्ट्रेटेजिक एजेंडा लॉन्च कर रहे हैं। एक जटिल वैश्विक वातावरण में यह एजेंडा स्पष्ट दिशा देगा, हमारी साझा समृद्धि को आगे बढ़ाएगा, इनोवेशन को गति देगा, सुरक्षा सहयोग और सुदृढ़ करेगा और पीपल टू पीपल टाइज को और गहरा करेगा। फ्रेंड, भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन का सहयोग एक पार्टनरशिप फॉर ग्लोबल गुड है। हम इंडो पैसिफिक से लेकर कैरेबियन तक ट्राइलेटरल प्रोजेक्ट को विस्तार देंगे। इससे सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर, क्लीन एनर्जी और विमेन एम्पावरमेंट को ठोस समर्थन मिलेगा। हम साथ मिलकर आईमैक कॉरिडोर को ग्लोबल ट्रेड और सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की एक प्रमुख कड़ी के रूप में स्थापित करेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, आज ग्लोबल ऑर्डर में बड़ी उथल-पुथल है। ऐसे में भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन की साझेदारी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सिस्टम में स्थिरता को मजबूती देगी। इस संदर्भ में आज हमने यूक्रेन, पश्चिमी एशिया, इंडो पैसिफिक सहित कई वैश्विक मुद्दों पर विस्तार से चर्चा की। मल्टीलेटरलिज्म और इंटरनेशनल नॉर्म्स का सम्मान हमारी साझी प्राथमिकता है। हम एकमत है कि आज के चैलेंजेस का समाधान करने के लिए ग्लोबल इंस्टीट्यूशंस का रिफॉर्म अनिवार्य है। फ्रेंड्स, राष्ट्रों के संबंधों में कभी-कभी ऐसा क्षण आता है जब इतिहास स्वयं कहता है, यहीं से दिशा बदली, यहीं से एक नया युग शुरू हुआ। भारत की और यूरोपियन यूनियन की यह ऐतिहासिक समिट वही क्षण है। मैं एक बार फिर इस अभूतपूर्व यात्रा के लिए, भारत के प्रति आपकी मित्रता के लिए और हमारे साझा भविष्य के प्रति आपकी प्रतिबद्धता के लिए प्रेसिडेंट कोस्टा और प्रेसिडेंट फॉन डेर लायन का हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूं। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Request His Excellency Mr. Antonio Costa, President of the European Council, to give his remarks to the media.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, my dear friend, dear Ursula, Ministers, dear Kaya and Maros, good afternoon. Thank you, dear Prime Minister Modi, for welcoming us on this special occasion. We were privileged yesterday to be your chief guests for the Republic Day celebrations. Such an impressive display of India's capabilities and diversity. Today is a historic moment. We are opening a new chapter in our relations on trade, on security, on people-to-people ties. I'm the President of the European Council, but I'm also an overseas Indian citizen. Then, as you can imagine, for me, it has a special meaning. I'm very proud of my roots in Goa, where my father's family came from. And the connection between Europe and India is something personal to me. Also because we conclude today our trade negotiations. We relaunched at the latest meeting that I had the pleasure to host in May 2021 in my previous capacity. Our summit sends a clear message to the world. At a time when the global order is being fundamentally reshaped, the European Union and India stand together as a strategic and reliable partners. Today, we are taking our partnership to the next level. As the two largest democracies in the world, we are working hand in hand to deliver concrete benefits for our citizens and to shape a resilient global order that underpins peace and stability, economic growth, and sustainable development. I would like to share three messages. First, the European Union and India must work together towards our shared prosperity and security. India is the world's fastest growing major economy. Trade has flowed between our two continents for centuries. And trade is crucial geopolitical stabilizer and the fundamental source of economic growth. Trade agreements reinforce rules-based economic order and promote shared prosperity. That's why today's free trade agreement is of historic importance, one of the most ambitious agreements ever concluded, creating a market of 2 billion people. In a multipolar world, the European Union and India are working together to grow spheres of shared prosperity. But prosperity does not exist without security. Strengthen our cooperation to better protect our citizens and our shared interests. Working together to counter the full range of security threats we face in the Indo-Pacific, in Europe, and around the world, reaching a new level of strategic trust between us. That is the significance of our agreement on a security and defense partnership. The first such overarching defense and security framework between India and the European Union, and the first step towards even more ambitious cooperation in the future. This brings me to my second message. As the world's largest democracies and champions of multilateralism, the European Union and India share the responsibility to upholding the international law, the United Nations Charter at its core. Earlier this morning, we and Ursula and President Ursula had the opportunity to pay tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. And I reflected upon his words, which still hold true today, and I quoted, "Peace will not come out of a clash of arms, but out of justice lived and done by unarmed nations in the face of odds." Our summit reaffirmed our commitment to supporting efforts towards a comprehensive, just and lasting peace in Ukraine, one that fully respects Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. This is a key moment. We are supporting all efforts to reach a just and sustainable peace. Ukraine has shown its readiness, including at the cost of difficult compromise. I know, dear Prime Minister, that we can count on you to help creating conditions for peace through dialogue and diplomacy. And this is my final message. Together, we must show leadership on global issues. Cooperation between the European Union and India will help shape a more balanced, resilient, and inclusive global order. Just two examples. I'm proud of the commitments we are making for greater cooperation on clean energy, green transition, and climate resilience. And our collaboration through the Global Gateway and on the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor is decisive for global connectivity. By implementing the ambitious Joint Comprehensive Strategic Agenda towards 2030, we will align our priorities with concrete actions for the next 5 years, delivering real benefits to our citizens. Today, we have tangible progress and set an example of cooperative leadership on global issues with our free trade agreement, our security and defense partnership, and our joint strategic agenda. These outcomes are crucial milestones on the longer path. We look forward to continuing the journey together, as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Her Excellency Ms. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, to give her remarks to the media.
Dear Prime Minister Modi, distinguished friend, Antonio, my friend, ministers, especially Shankar and Guyal, Vice President Kallas, Commissioner Šefčovič, Excellencies, friends, thank you very much for the exceptional hospitality we experienced. It was such an honor for us to be your chief guests at the Republic Day yesterday. This is a memory I will carry for a lifetime, because the sense of communion was so powerful. People filled the streets united in pride and joy of belonging to the Indian nation, and rightfully so. India has risen, and Europe is truly glad about it, because when India succeeds, the world is more stable, more prosperous, and more secure, and we all benefit. Prime Minister Modi, dear friend, 1 year ago, the full College of Commissioners came to India. You mentioned it. And this is also a very special memory for me. It showed the seriousness of our intent and the strength of our commitment. Today, we reap the fruits of that commitment with our historic summit. And let me start with trade. Prime Minister, distinguished friend, we did it. We delivered the mother of all deals. We are creating a market of 2 billion people. And this is the tale of two giants, the world's second and fourth largest economies. Two giants who choose partnership in a true win-win fashion. A strong message that cooperation is the best answer to global challenges. This trade will integrate further our supply chain and strengthen our joint manufacturing power. It will cut up to 4 billion euros in annual tariffs for exporters of all sizes. And it will create good jobs for millions of workers here in India and in Europe. At the same time, this agreement will build on the natural complementarity of our economies. It brings together Indian skills, services, and scale with Europe's technology, capital, and innovation. It will create levels of growth that neither side can achieve alone. And by combining these strengths, we reduce strategic dependencies at a time when trade is increasingly weaponized. We will discuss this and more at our first EU-India Business Forum later today. I want to offer a special word of thanks to the people who worked so hard to make this day a reality. Starting with the European Union's Trade Commissioner Maroš Šefčovič and his counterpart, India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. You have done an outstanding work. This is historic, and it would not have been possible without you. I also want to pay tribute to their colleagues, Sabine Weyand and Secretary Rajesh Agrawal. Many others made vital contributions. I congratulate you all. The hard work was worth it. Prime Minister, distinguished friend, we're not only making our economy stronger, we are also delivering security for our people in an increasingly insecure world. And today, the world's two largest economies and democracies launched their first ever security and defense partnership. This is a landmark departure and a trust-based platform for cooperation on the strategic issues that matter most. In doing so, we will help to build each other's resilience. Europe and India have a long history of cooperation in the defense industry. Now we will enhance this teamwork even further. We will deepen our cooperation on maritime security, for example, joint naval exercises to tackle piracy. And we will step up our work on countering cyber and hybrid threats, which are getting more sophisticated by the day. And our partnership includes a dedicated dialogue on space security, from situational awareness to secure connectivity, and stronger cooperation on counterterrorism. Finally, we are launching negotiations on a security of information agreement. Europe and India have chosen to be reliable partners to one another, and this is how we demonstrate the trust we share. Prime Minister Modi, distinguished friend, I want to turn to innovation, because here too we share core values. The freedom of research and science is paramount for us. Europe and India will always choose science. We will always choose progress, the way forward. We will always choose technology at the service of our people. It's part of who we are. And our cooperation on human-centric, trustworthy artificial intelligence is one of the best examples. So today I'm glad to announce that we are working on India's association with Horizon Europe. Backed by funding firepower of 100 billion euros, Horizon is the world's largest public research program. And I can't wait for our best talents to get to work to advance health, clean energy, frontier technologies, just to name some. We will set up EU-India innovation hubs. This will help researchers and startups to collaborate on next-generation technology. And we are also launching the EU-India Startup Partnership to boost co-creation and high-potential ventures. Finally, Prime Minister dear Narendra, we both know our greatest wealth are our people. That is why I'm so glad that we are signing an agreement on mobility. We will facilitate the movement of students, researchers, seasonal and highly skilled workers. And this is also why we are launching the first EU legal gateway office in India. It will be a one-stop hub to support Indian talent moving to Europe in full alignment with EU member states' needs and policies. This is good for our economies. This is good for the friendship between our people. And this openness benefits us all. As we conclude this 16th summit, let me reflect on another event of deep meaning. 2 weeks ago, India marked Makar Sankranti. It's the beginning of Uttarayan, the sun's northward journey. From darkness to light, from stillness to growth, from what was to what can be. And that is what makes our summit so unique and timely. The time is right for renewal, for fresh momentum, and for opening a new chapter in EU-India friendship. And this is exactly what we have achieved together today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the press statements. Thank you very much for your presence.
All right, in a moment, heavy with symbolism and strategic consequence, India and the European Union have sealed a long-awaited free trade agreement, the FTA, as the EU Commission President and the President of the European Council joined Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address that joint statement from both India as well as the EU. Fresh from their role as chief guests at India's Republic Day celebrations, confluence, viewers of diplomacy and commerce has turned New Delhi into the stage for what is pegged to become one of the most consequential trade deals of this decade. Aditya Rajkol has been tracking all the developments. Aditya, historic is what all three representatives had to say in the joint statement.
Well, yes, a very historic FTA conclusion happening here in New Delhi. I'm reporting live for NDTV inside the Hyderabad House, where the historic political declaration agreement on the conclusion of the FTA talks has been signed by India and EU. We saw the three top leaders from India and EU address the press on the most consequential, development in the India-EU ties in over 3 decades. In the last 2 decades, we've had a strategic partnership, but in the last 2 decades, we've also had hectic parleys and negotiations on the trade deal. But finally, that development taking shape. Apart from the political declaration and the intent on the finalization of the FTA, we also had a security and defense agreement between India and EU signed. But a little trivia, it was very interesting to see Antonio Costa, the president of the EU Council, display his OCI card when he said that I am the president of the European Council, but I'm also an overseas Indian citizen. So a very proud, moment for every Indian, how Antonio Costa displayed his OCI card in front of the global press while the FTA negotiations have concluded between India and EU. It's a big message for trade, for connectivity, for not barriers but bridges being developed when it comes to commerce, trade, and people being brought together. So the big announcement has happened here, and now we will see 2 other developments later today. One will be the address of these top leaders at the business summit. It is the first EU-India business meeting that is taking place at the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. And shortly after that, we'll have a press statement by India's Commerce Ministry and India's Ministry of External Affairs, where the finer details of the entire FTA will be put out. Because remember, it is not just one particular sector. Multiple sectors, from auto sector to the food processing to different other sectors, will have a reduction of tariffs to 90 to 100%. So it's a historic development, a win-win situation, and business community is in a joyous mood right now with the FTA talks conclusion happening and this being implemented perhaps in the next few weeks.
Aditya, do stay with me. I'm going to come back to you in a couple of minutes from now. In his joint statement at the Hyderabad House, Prime Minister Modi has called this deal the biggest FTA in India's history. Let's listen in to the Prime Minister's statement.
अपने 2 करीबी मित्रों प्रेसिडेंट कोस्टा और प्रेसिडेंट फॉन डर लायन का इस अभूतपूर्व भारत यात्रा में स्वागत करते हुए मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है। कोस्टा जी अपनी सरल जीवन शैली और समाज के प्रति प्रेम के आधार पर लिस्बन के गांधी के नाम से जाने जाते हैं और उर्सुला जी जर्मनी की पहली महिला रक्षा मंत्री नहीं, यूरोपियन यूनियन कमीशन की भी पहली महिला प्रेसिडेंट बनकर पूरी दुनिया के लिए एक प्रेरणा है। एक और ऐतिहासिक अवसर है जब विश्व की 2 सबसे बड़ी लोकतांत्रिक शक्तियां अपने संबंधों में एक निर्णायक अध्याय जोड़ रही है। फ्रेंड्स, पिछले कुछ वर्षों में भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के संबंधों में उल्लेखनीय प्रगति हुई है। साझा लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों, आर्थिक सिनर्जी और मजबूत पीपल टू पीपल टाइज के आधार पर हमारी साझेदारी नई ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंच रही है। आज भारत ने अपने इतिहास का अब तक का सबसे बड़ा फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट संपन्न किया है। आज 27 तारीख है। ये सुखद संयोग है कि आज ही के दिन यूरोपियन यूनियन के 27 देशों के साथ भारत ये एफटीए कर रहा है। यह एक ऐतिहासिक समझौता हमारे किसानों, हमारे छोटे उद्योगों, इसकी यूरोपियन मार्केट तक पहुंच आसान बनाएगा, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में नए अवसर पैदा करेगा और हमारे सर्विसेज सेक्टर के बीच सहयोग को और प्रबल करेगा। यह एफटीए भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के बीच इन्वेस्टमेंट को बूस्ट करेगा, नई इनोवेशन पार्टनरशिप बनाएगा और वैश्विक स्तर पर सप्लाई चेन को मजबूत करेगा। यानी यह सिर्फ ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट नहीं है, यह साझा समृद्धि का नया ब्लूप्रिंट है। फ्रेंड्स, इस महत्वाकांक्षी एफटीए के साथ साथ हम मोबिलिटी के लिए भी एक नया फ्रेमवर्क बना रहे हैं। इससे भारत के स्टूडेंट्स, वर्कर्स और प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए यूरोपियन यूनियन में नए अवसर खुलेंगे। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में हमारा लंबे समय से एक व्यापक सहयोग रहा है। आज हमने इन महत्वपूर्ण लिंकेजेस को भी और मजबूत करने का निर्णय लिया है। रक्षा और सुरक्षा सहयोग किसी भी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की नींव होती है और आज हम इसे सिक्योरिटी एंड डिफेंस पार्टनरशिप के जरिए औपचारिक रूप दे रहे हैं। इससे काउंटर टेररिज्म, मैरीटाइम और साइबर सिक्योरिटी में हमारी साझेदारी और गहरी होगी। यह रूल्स बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर के प्रति हमारी साझा प्रतिबद्धता को भी बल देगा। इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में हमारे सहयोग का दायरा और बढ़ेगा और इसके साथ हमारी डिफेंस कंपनियां को डेवलपमेंट और को प्रोडक्शन के नए अवसर साकार करेगी।
All right, before I go to our guests who will be joining us in a moment from now, I want to go back to Aditya Raj Kaul, who's inside Hyderabad House and is reporting on all the developments there. Net, Aditya, what this means is the finer details will be revealed closer to 4 p.m. when Piyush Goyal, the Commerce Minister, will be addressing a press conference. For now, we know this is high on symbolism. It's high on the bonhomie. Now, this renewed bonhomie between EU and India, or rather a bolstered bonhomie between EU and India. You've had pleasantries exchanged over the last 3 days. Today, they got down to business, and that historic deal now being announced.
Well, yes, that is the latest that we are picking up. Apart from the symbolism and a lot of color during this visit, it is the strategic brass tacks of the FTA that is being the big talking point. What we are picking up is that at least 97% reduction of tariff on several products could be visible. One of the biggest in the auto industries, because remember, there are a lot of German cars that are popular in India. And what we can see is that currently there is a tariff of about 110% on it, and that could be reduced to gradually to about 10%. Similarly, chocolates, pasta, at the same time wines from Europe will have a significant reduction of tariffs as well. So it's a win-win situation for New Delhi and Brussels. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking about the closeness that India and EU have achieved after 20 years of strategic partnership, and also emphasizing on the security and defense cooperation that is being taken forward.
Okay, Aditya Raj Kaul, thanks for joining me there. Let's cut across to our guest, Pratik Dattani. You've been extremely patient. He joined us at about 1:15 in the afternoon before the joint statements were announced. Thank you for still being with us. We also have a former diplomat, Ambassador Sajanhar, joining me live. Ambassador, pleasure to have you on the show. I'm going to go to Pratik just because he's been with us longer. Ambassador, bear with me at this point. But I want to understand from you, Pratik, at this point, what are the big takeaways from what you've just heard? That was about 30 minutes of a joint statement from the big stakeholders.
Yes, I think two things struck out to me. All the three speakers talked about the two biggest democracies in the world getting together. So emphasizing the democracy. And then Prime Minister Modi also talked about the rules-based international order. Both of these are really important in the context of where America sees the world, which is not multilateral. It's very much in its backyard where it can use its power to get what it wants. And where how the US has gone about its business over the last year has been picking out individual countries to have trade negotiations where they carry more power. Here, India is a large bloc and the EU is a large bloc, have shown what multilateralism and global cooperation can do.
All right. I want to understand from you, Ambassador Sajanhar, and then I want to take the same question to Prateek as well. Ambassador, how important is this deal for Europe as it looks to de-risk from China and diversify supply chains?
No, absolutely. I think it is very important for Europe because it is battling on two fronts. It is battling with the United States as far as trade.
Ambassador, I don't think we can hear you. We're going to try and reconnect with Ambassador there. We're trying to get that point from him. But I also have with me at this point Rishabh from NDTV Profit. Rishabh, the finer details, I believe, will be announced only in about an hour and a half from now. But what are you picking up? What's the inside track on this in terms of this being claimed as a win-win deal for both sides?
A bunch of key contours that have come out of this particular deal. Lots of major wins for India as well. Let me point out a few. What this gives India is it gives India preferential market access on almost 100% of India's exports by value to 27 countries of the European Union. I think that is the major headline that this deal has been able to achieve for Indian exporters. What we're also seeing is that this is easily India's most comprehensive deal yet. It covers everything from goods and trades to digital trade. What we're seeing, it has a chapter on sustainability as well as IPs. So it is easily one of the most comprehensive deals that India has offered to another trade partner. What we're seeing is that India's key ask was to get more and more preferential access for its labor-intensive sectors, and those are textiles, gems and jewelry. What we're seeing is marine products, leather. All of them will enter European Union countries completely tariff-free now, and that is from the day one of the entry into force of this particular FTA, which is still about a year ago, but all these talks are settled now. What we're seeing is that India has been also able to safeguard the various sensitivities that India has when it comes to automobiles. This was a key demand from the European Union, that they wanted access to India's auto market. India is easily the world's third largest auto market at this point in time. And what India has been able to offer is a quota-based system. So what we'll see is more and more high-end cars coming in from Europe on certain reduced tariffs. But India's small car market, which is the larger market in India, that remains protected. So that has been a win that India has been able to secure. What we're also seeing is that there's a lot of mobility pacts, a lot of service agreements that India has been able to win. You'll see more and more skilled professionals fly from India to the EU as part of this deal. You'll see more and more post-study work visas being issued to Indian students as part of this deal. CBAM, the carbon border adjusted mechanism, or the carbon tax that the European Union wanted to levy on India, that is something that is also seen as some sort of a win, because India has been able to secure a future MFN clause. That means that if the European Union gives some sort of a concession to any other country in the future, India has the right to demand for the same benefits that the other trade partner is also getting. There's no sort of resolution on CBAM as of now. What we're also seeing,
Yeah, important point you make there. Thank you for joining us live. Those are some of the key takeaways that Rishabh has pointed out. But I want to go back to Ambassador Sajanhar, who was making a point when there was a signal issue. Ambassador, go ahead. We were talking about how Europe wants to look away from China and diversify supply chains.
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm very sorry that my connection was not too good. I'm out of Delhi, so these problems sometimes do happen. So the point I was making is that, the European Union and Europe particularly, both of UK, EFTA, etc., they are facing headwinds from the United States, as I mentioned, both in the area of tariffs, also in the area of security and defense. Now, the arrangement, transatlantic partnership earlier was that the United States will provide security to Europe. And we've seen even in Trump 1.0, but more particularly in Trump 2.0, whether it is Ukraine, now even Greenland, that the United States is not willing to abide by its side of the deal. So both on security, it has to become self-sufficient, it has to diversify. Also, as far as the trade is concerned, it signed a trade agreement with the United States last year, but then Mr. Trump sort of, tore it to shreds and said, I'm going to impose 10% additional tariff on 8 countries. So, it's having problems there. It's having problems with China, because on China, whether it is supply chain disruptions, which really started around the time of the COVID-19 pandemic, or it is in terms of the very disproportionate, unbalanced trade relationship. China had about more than 1 trillion trade surplus with the whole world. And so with European countries also, it has been a very mismatched, a very unbalanced trade partnership with China.
Yes.
So it wants to, and then it is weaponizing all these, rare earth minerals, critical materials, magnets, etc.
Okay.
So Europe wants some diversification, and there can be no better partner, I may suggest, than India, because India, it might be $4 trillion now. Very soon, it's going to be 10 trillion. It's going to be the 3rd largest economy. It is a trusted partner. I think trust is a very important element of the bilateral partnership.
Yes, and I'm running out of time, and I have a lot of questions for both of you. I want to even weigh in here to say this is something that India is, of course, aware of as well geopolitically, given how things have been with the US and with China. But before I come back to the two of you, I want to just bring in some of the statements made by the President of the EU Commission, Ursula. Let's just play them out.
India has risen, and Europe is truly glad about it. Because when India succeeds, the world is more stable, more prosperous, and more secure. And we all benefit. Prime Minister, distinguished friend, we did it. We delivered the mother of all deals. We are creating a market of 2 billion people. And this is the tale of 2 giants, the world's 2nd and 4th largest economies. 2 giants who choose partnership in a true win-win fashion. A strong message that cooperation is the best answer to global challenges.
Ambassador, I'm keen to understand from you, politically, what message does Ursula von der Leyen's presence in India to seal this historic mother of all trade deal send to global partners?
Yeah, so, let me draw your attention to just a few months ago, I think it was last year or the year before that, when President Macron had visited China. And you remember that there were 2 chairs placed, and Ursula von der Leyen was accompanying him.
Yes.
There were 2 chairs placed for Macron and for Xi Jinping. There was no chair for Ursula von der Leyen. You would remember that. I think the world will remember. Ursula von der Leyen would also remember. So the fact that India is going out of its way to give this head of state status to Ursula von der Leyen and to Antonio Costa, meaning this is something not lost to anyone. The second point is, you had mentioned symbolism. Symbolism, all right. But you look at the body language, you look at the positivity. I've been following all these agreements for the last 40 years, more than that. I have never seen so much of enthusiasm, that I have seen from Prime Minister Modi, the way, in terms of the superlatives, the words that have been used. And they definitely, in my view, they are more than just a symbolism.
Okay.
So the message going out definitely to the United States. You see, United States, when Mr. Trump saw the image of Xi Jinping, Putin, and Mr. Modi there, he said, we have lost India to the dark world, deep dark world, etc., etc. Now, these images, what you're showing on your screen, all the 3 leaders holding their hands aloft, and one hand on top of the other, signifying a very strong partnership.
Yes,
Definitely to the United States. That is why the last point that I'll make here, Vedika, the last point. That is why you had these delegation from the United States on a Sunday, also meeting Jaishankar, also
True.
meeting Piyush Goyal, also Sergio Gore in front of the Apache, saying, don't forget about us. We are also there. We are also a part of the game. So, when we mention two democracies, earlier we have said the oldest democracy and the biggest democracy. Today we are saying two of the largest democracies.
Okay.
So I think the whole narrative is changing there.
All right, well said there. I think you're right. This is the defining image of this historic deal between the EU and India that we see on our screens. You have them, like you said, holding hands aloft, and then all of them holding hands together, one on top of the other, the most defining image from the last 4 days since you've had the president of the EU Commission in India. But Prateek, coming to you now, from India's perspective, what are the headline gains in this free trade agreement? I know the details of it are yet to be announced, which will happen, I believe, in about an hour and a half from now. But in terms of optics, in terms of all that we've discussed over the last 1 hour, what do you think the headline gains will be?
I think there's two things that jump out to me very, very strongly. One is the people-to-people connections. So Europe is an aging society. It needs external talent. India is the largest pool of young, educated engineering and computer science talent in the world. I think access to more Indians coming into the EU to study and then to work, I think that is a real positive for both countries. And the second thing that was really exciting is closer collaboration on AI. So at the end of the EU president's speech, he talked about the world's largest publicly funded AI research initiative, Horizon. Likewise, India has the largest pool of resource in the world. They're not able to go to the US anymore because the visa situation is much more different. And if they can come and collaborate in the EU, this will bring in leading edge AI talent back into India and kickstart a whole AI ecosystem in India too.
Okay. All right. I'm going to play out a statement from the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, while he was also addressing that presser on the joint statement.
Today is a historic moment. We are opening a new chapter in our relations on trade, on security, on people-to-people ties. I'm the president of the European Council, but I'm also an overseas Indian citizen. Then, as you can imagine, for me, it has a special meaning. I'm very proud of my roots in Goa, where my father's family came from. And the connection between Europe and India is something personal to me.
Ambassador, I want to understand from you, this deal has been in the making for nearly 2 decades. How big is this moment diplomatically for India? We're talking about the big picture now.
If it was under normal circumstances, Vedika, it would have been a very big moment. It would have been a big moment. But in the sort of churn and the turmoil and the turbulence that the world is experiencing, two big countries, meaning a union of countries and India, the largest, most populated country, big economies, big democracies coming out together, I think the significance is hugely multiplied. And so it will give confidence to the global South. India is the voice of the global South, that, there is still there are countries who are working towards the success of a multilateral trading system. It will send out these messages to the two big powers, which are, in a rivalry with each other and trying to get more and more of the world resources and riches and influence for themselves. So I think the significance is huge, not only for the two countries themselves, for European Union, all the 27 countries, and basically it complements what has already been done with EFTA and with the United Kingdom. But the message is to China, the message is to the United States, the message is to the global South. And that, multilateral system, and for middle powers, I think the message that strategic autonomy and multi-alignment is the way to go forward.
But according to you then, Ambassador, what finally broke the logjam that stalled negotiations for so many years?
Yeah, so, meaning if I can, I have personal involvement with this, because I was in Brussels when we started the negotiations in 2007 at the EU-India summit in Helsinki. At that time, Dr. Manmohan Singh, he had come, he said, we'll finalize this in 2 years. That didn't happen in 2013. If you remember, there was this problem of the Italian, servicemen who had shot some people off the coast of Kerala, and that put the negotiations on the back burner from 2013 till 2021. And after that, the situation was changing. It was post-COVID. Countries needed to come together. We found that the manner in which we had taken the whole agreement, BTIA, the Bilateral Trade Investment Agreement, we needed to divide them. So we put trade in one basket, investment in another basket, geographical indications of origin in another basket. But then now our ambitions have increased. So not only do we have these three agreements, we have also the security and defense agreement. We also have the mobility agreement. So I think that is a reaction to the changes that are taking place globally, the geopolitical changes that are taking place. That has also acted as some sort of an impetus, some sort of a catalyst in bringing them together.
All right, Prateek is joining us from London, of course. Prateek, last word to you. You've been extremely patient, and I want to just thank you again for that. But before you go, Prateek, I want to understand the UK view on this. Is this trade agreement more driven by geopolitics, Prateek, than pure economics, is the question from all that we have discussed in the last 2 hours?
Well, I think 2 generations of politicians in the UK have been saying that if Britain leaves the EU, if Brexit happens, which it did a few years ago, the UK is able to strike out the best trade deals in the world. Actually, the EU-India trade deal will probably go much further than the one the UK managed to secure with India. But I just want to put in a note of caution. So the UK-India Free Trade Agreement has not yet been ratified by the Parliament here. And likewise with the EU, it may take a year or longer for it to be ratified. So it's not that we'll start seeing benefits from the next quarter. Absolutely. It's certainly a signaling mechanism to the world, particularly the global South, as Ambassador said. But the actual fruits won't be seen for quite some time.
Okay, so Prateek, thank you for joining us live there. Prateek Dattani, founder, Bridge India and MD EPG. Ambassador Sajanar, always a pleasure to have you here on the show. So those are the experts we've brought to you on the big story here on NDTV 24/7. Mother of all trade deals has been inked. It will take a while in terms of the roadmap of when that will be implemented. We're going to have a press conference at 4 p.m. where the Commerce Minister will be talking about the details of that FTA, which we will then break down for you. But that's the latest that we have for you. There have been delegation level talks. There have, of course, been chief guests from the EU, the top 2 who were the chief guests at Republic Day. What does this mean for India? What does this mean for the EU? And who are the countries watching this extremely closely? We'll talk all about that through the day today. Slipping to a short break, news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned to NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने आईएनएस विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं. देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स. वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है. और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं. विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार.
The most powerful voices of Tamil Nadu on one stage. From the Chief Minister to the opposition, from legacy to the road to 2026. Economy, governance, cinema, ideology. NDTV Tamil Nadu Summit, only on NDTV 24/7.
NDTV 24/7, total domination in Davos. The world's biggest voices first. Iconic visionary Bill Gates. World Bank President Ajay Banga. IMF Chief Kristalina Georgieva. IBM CEO and President Arvind Krishna. India's AI Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. NDTV is India's voice in the world. First interview with Maharashtra Chief Minister. First interview with Andhra Chief Minister. First interview with Assam Chief Minister. India's first ground event in Davos. NDTV puts India on the global stage. Davos, domination, no debate.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindoor.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. INS Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rock on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
The most powerful voices of Tamil Nadu on one stage. From the Chief Minister to the opposition. From legacy to the road to 2026.
A very good afternoon to all our viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Southern View, where we and my colleagues from down south take you through all the important updates that's happening from the southern part of India. Joining me on this broadcast, of course, is my colleague Ritu Raj Purohit from Bengaluru. We have Vijay from Tamil Nadu, Ashish from Hyderabad and Ashwin from Kerala as well will be joining us through the course of the next half hour. First up, we have some news coming in from Tamil Nadu. This is over the controversy surrounding Jananayagan. My colleague Vijay will take you through the details.
Thank you, Deepak. There is no relief for Vijay's Jananayagan yet, with Madras High Court Chief Justice Bench once again had referred the case to the single bench. The production house at the CBFC actually appealed against the single bench order, where single bench ordered to grant certificate for the Jananayagan movie. However, they filed appeal, and while hearing the arguments from both the sides today, Chief Justice Bench had issued order saying that the single bench should give time frame for production for CBFC to file a counter affidavit. So yet again, Jananayagan into a legal tussle. There is no relief for actor turned politician Vijay's for Jananayagan issue. And even production house is looking forward to dates. But however, now the case is pending before the single bench of Madras High Court. All the controversy started when there was a delay in issuing certificate for Jananayagan, and then production house moved the Madras High Court against the CBFC. Referring the movie to the revision committee. However, single bench ordered to CBFC to grant certificate U/A for the movie. Immediately, CBFC filed the same day. Immediately, CBFC filed appeal against the single bench order to the Chief Justice order. Chief Justice immediately withheld the single bench order, and the case was even production house approached Supreme Court for the same case. But however, Supreme Court refused to interfere into the matter and asked production house to go to the single Chief Justice bench. Today, it was an order, but which was not seen as a relief for Jananayagan, but it is seen as a huge setback for Jananayagan movie. Let's listen into the reaction which we have lined up for you from a producer.
This is quite a shocker to the entire industry, because already the January month has completely lost, except for two films which has done reasonably okay. But whole industry was waiting for a big box office collection, and everything is lost because the film is not released. And now looks like it is going to be a long drawn political and legal journey for the film to come out. I'm saying political because this doesn't seem to be like a simple legal process alone.
Now all eyes on what would be the observation or order from the single bench court, and what would be the order posed by the production house of Jananayagan and CBFC. Moving on to other story from Tamil Nadu, it is about a political war of words between AADMK, NDA alliance and BJP and DMK alliance. Yesterday there was a massive women conference hosted by the DMK women wing in Tanjavur, which is a delta region in Tamil Nadu. Ahead of 2026 election, this is the second women state level conference hosted by the DMK women wing, eyeing women voters, because women voters in upcoming 2026 election is going to play a very crucial and important role. Today, yesterday there was a list, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin highlighted the schemes which was implemented by the DMK government for women welfare, from free bus scheme and 1,000 rupees monthly financial aid for women, and even other schemes and importance of education to women. Chief Minister listed out. And he also criticized the NDA BJP alliance as a blackmail alliance. He said that BJP blackmailed Edappadi K. Palaniswamy and made ADMK into the alliance. Even Kanimoli called Narendra Modi's, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's double engine as a dabba engine. She pointed out that double engine won't work in Tamil Nadu, because she said that when compared to Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu is performing in all sectors extraordinary. She also compared how hospital or government medical colleges or many in government medical facilities in Tamil Nadu when compared to Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat. And even Udayanidhi Stalin, a women cadre of DMK, to work hard in next 60 to 80 days ahead of 2026 election. Let's listen into what Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, Udayanidhi Stalin and Kanimoli had to say.
பழையபடியே உடைஞ்சு போனதெல்லாம் ஒட்டி எடுத்துக்கிட்டு புதுசா என்டிஏ அரசுன்னு சொல்லிக்கிட்டு வந்திருக்கிறாங்க. எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும், பாஜக அதிமுக கூட்டணி கட்டாயத்தால் உருவாகி இருக்கக்கூடிய கூட்டணி, மிரட்டலால் உருட்டலால் உருவான பிளாக்மெயில் கூட்டணி, உண்மையான அதிமுக தொண்டர்களுடைய விருப்பத்திற்கு எதிராக அமித்ஷா அவர்களால் திணிக்கப்பட்ட கூட்டணி, முழுக்க முழுக்க தன்னுடைய சுயலாபத்திற்காக வழக்குகளிலிருந்து தன்னை காப்பாற்றிக்க, தன்னுடைய பதவியை தக்க வச்சிக்க பழனிசாமி உருவாக்கின சுயநல கூட்டணி.
அது மட்டும் இல்லை, வரும் பொழுதெல்லாம் டபுள் என்ஜின் அதுதான் இந்த நாட்டுக்கு நல்ல என்ஜினுங்கிறாங்க. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச அந்த என்ஜின் என்னைக்குமே வேலை செய்யாத என்ஜினா தான் இருக்கு, ரிப்பேர் மாடல் என்ஜினா தான் இருக்கு. நான் சொன்னது போல டெபக்கிள் என்ஜினா தான் இருக்கு, தேராத என்ஜினாகத்தான் இருக்கிறது. ஏனென்றால் நம்முடைய திராவிட மாடல் என்ஜினை எடுத்துக்கொள்ளுங்கள். குஜராத்ல மொத்தம் மருத்துவக் கல்லூரிகள், அரசு மருத்துவக் கல்லூரிகள் என்று எடுத்துக்கொண்டீர்கள் என்றால் 6 தான். ஆனா தமிழ்நாட்டில் அரசு மருத்துவமனைகள் 2000க்கு மேல இருக்கு. அதற்கான படுக்கை வசதிகள் கிட்டத்தட்ட 1 லட்சத்தை தொட்டு கொண்டிருக்கிறது. உத்தரப்பிரதேசத்தில் பார்த்தோம், கோவிட் நேரத்தில் அங்க மக்களை மருத்துவமனைக்குள்ள அனுமதிக்க கூட முடியல. வெளியில ஆட்டோலையும் வண்டிலையும் டிராக்டர்லையும் படுத்து கிடந்தார்கள். 1 லட்சம் படுக்கை வசதிகள் மக்களுடைய ஆரோக்கியத்திற்காக, நலனுக்காக சாதித்து காட்டி இருக்கக்கூடிய ஆட்சி திராவிட என்ஜின் ஆட்சி.
In Tamil Nadu, the Udayanidhi Stalin and the Stalin family always talk about the separate nation, separate country, separate state, and language. They always talk about the language. See, our Honorable Prime Minister gives respect and honor to the Tamil language, Tamil pride, Tamil culture, Tirukural. So our Honorable Prime Minister is conducting the Kasi Tamil Sangamam, and our Bharadiyar chair in the Banaras Hindu University, and the DMK people always they speak they tells we are the safeguard for the Tamil, but they didn't do nothing for the Tamil community, Tamil society. They looted for the Tamil Nadu.
As election nears, all parties are gearing up their campaign, intensifying their campaign with the war of words. That's all we have from Tamil Nadu as of now. Moving on to more stories from Karnataka, we have Deepak Bopana with some breaking news. Deepak, over to you.
Well, here in Karnataka, it's another day, another controversy and another allegation of a massive scam. This time the BJP is saying that in the excise department in Karnataka, there's a scam that's brewing that runs into thousands of crores. Today, several BJP legislators stood outside the Gandhi statue at the Vidhan Sauda, held placards and said this is a corrupt government and the excise department is the most corrupt of them all, they allege. They're further saying that the excise minister R.B. Thimmapur must immediately resign. This sentiment echoed in the assembly as well. Now, meanwhile, we also spoke to the Wine Merchants Association, and the president there says on the February 3rd they plan to hold a meeting where they will decide on writing a letter to AICC President Mallikarjun Kharge, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, about a Congress leader and a minister, that is Mr. R.B. Thimmapur, who they believe is also involved in the rampant corruption that exists in the system. Now, meanwhile, of course, they're saying that a complaint officially will be filed with the Lokayukta, with other investigative agencies if required, but a final decision will be taken on the 3rd. Firstly, let's listen to the charge that's coming in from the BJP and then what Mr. Govindraj Hegde also had to say.
सर, आपसे मुझे ये पूछना था कि आपने ऑफिशियली कुछ कंप्लेंट लिखा है करप्शन के बारे में एक्साइज डिपार्टमेंट में सर?
लिखने वाले हैं, अभी तक नहीं लिखा।
किसको लिख रहे हैं सर आप?
हम लिखेंगे अपना मल्लिकार्जुन साहब जी को और राहुल गांधी को और गवर्नमेंट को और लोकायुक्त राज्यपाल सबको लिखेंगे।
क्या है सर, इशू क्या है सर?
तो करप्शन का है, वो 3 तारीख का मीटिंग में, 3 तारीख को अपना स्टेट मीटिंग है स्टेट कमेटी का।
ओके,
उसमें डिसाइड हो जाएगा। तब तक मैं कुछ बोल नहीं सकता हूँ, लेकिन कंप्लेंट लिखेंगे वो तो पक्का है।
कितना बड़ा स्कैम है सर, कितना करोड़ का स्कैम है?
नहीं, वो मीटिंग में डिसाइड होने के बाद ही वो राज्यपाल और गवर्नर और लोकायुक्त को एक ये कंप्लेंट देने वाला है, वही टाइम पे बाहर आएगा सब।
हाँ, और आप ये क्योंकि आप राहुल गांधी और मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे को लिख रहे हैं, तो क्या ये मिनिस्टर के खिलाफ एलिगेशन है सर डायरेक्टली?
है, डेफिनेटली है।
और कुछ जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आ रहा है करीब 6000 करोड़ का स्कैम है करके बताया जा रहा है।
वो उसके बारे में मेरे को कुछ नहीं पता, लेकिन अपना तो वो मीटिंग में डिसाइड, अपना इश्यूज अलग है।
ओके, क्या इश्यूज है सर जो आप उठाएंगे?
नहीं, अभी नहीं बोल सकता हूँ, माफ कीजिए, अभी नहीं बोल सकता। वो मीटिंग में फाइनल होने के बाद वो गवर्नर और लोकायुक्त को एक कंप्लेंट देंगे, वो कंप्लेंट में सब कुछ बाहर आ जाएगा।
They are not ready to agree or accept this thing.
You have called protests here and government called discussions inside, but they are protesting in Freedom Park.
See, actually, what they have called this session is a waste. because to condemn the central government only they have called this. They have no business, nothing in this. So we wanted to fight against this government, corrupt government, commission government, and immediately the minister Timmapur should be sacked from the cabinet.
6,000 crore scam, wherein excise minister himself is involved, his family members are involved, and proof has already been emerged. But Siddaramaiah is not willing to discuss on the floor of the House. Bharatiya Janata Party, we have been demanding the resignation of the minister and no SIT, no investigation by the local police. It's such a big scam.
Well, my colleague Ritu is also with us. Ritu, interesting that the BJP staged this protest. They also took this matter up in the assembly. The speaker is assured that there will be time that will be given to discuss this. Tell us about what's the main allegation of the BJP. Is there another scam that's brewing here in the state of Karnataka?
Well, we've been seeing how that the series of allegations have been made against the excise department as well as against the minister R.B. Timmapur as well. Now, remember just a couple of days back itself that we saw how that there were multiple audios that had basically surfaced as well. And apart from that, we did see in that how that the 2,500 crore allegation has also been made as well. This in terms of selling the licenses regarding these L2, L3, CL4 as well. So multiple such licenses basically, and that's where the bribes are getting demanded as well. We did see here in how that the BJP is also stating that the this particular corruption is taking place, or the bribe basically is also taking place at multiple levels as well, whether the excise department minister and his family is basically clear-cut involved itself. Now needs to be seen how that the Congress-led government here in the state is really going to act on it, because remember what really panned out a couple of years back with the BJP-led government as well in the state, with the Contractors Association coming out and making 40% of allegation. Now this time needs to be seen how this is really going to cost a huge to this Congress-led government, or whether that the government is really going to take in prayer and action as well. So all that is awaited. Back to you.
Yes, we'll of course keep a close track as to how this story develops, and more importantly, we will of course continue our internal investigations about a possible scam that the BJP is alleging too. Meanwhile, you know, here in Karnataka, the power struggle is quite real. And today, while the Congress party had its own protest, the protest was Raj Bhavan Chalo. They had an objection, of course, that they have been raising about how the governor didn't read the inaugural speech when the joint session of the assembly began. A massive protest was organized at the Freedom Park. But as the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Siddaramaiah, was heading towards the dais to deliver his speech today, all of a sudden from the crowd, we started to hear DK, and these were the chants that started. And then it was Mr. Siddaramaiah who was clearly irked and tells the crowd to be seated and to keep quiet. Let's listen to this entire sequence and how it played out.
Hey, no. Hey. ಯಾರು
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂತ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರಿ, ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿ. ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ
ಸುಮ್ಮನಿರಪ್ಪ ಸಾಕು.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ಕೇಳ್ರಪ್ಪ, ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಕೇಳಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸರಿ, ಎರಡು ಸರಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸರಿ, ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
Quickly, while the event was happening, I'm sure you were there, while the Chief Minister was going towards the podium, sloganeering that in support of Mr. D.K. Shivakumar. How did he look at this?
He's our PCC President, is the Deputy Chief Minister. Some of his supporters back the thing. It is not the thing that always it will happen. There's nothing wrong in it.
Continuously going on, especially after their breakfast meeting. It is going to the next level. You know, MLAs are making teams, MLAs are going to Delhi, MLAs are doing everything, MLAs are shouting slogans, and there is a huge rift in the Karyakartas. And in Congress, one sad thing for the people of the state, it is just the guarantees that they are talking about. Not a single development, not a single welfare scheme has come out in the last 3 years. Mr. D.K. Shivakumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah ji are only worried about the chair.
So that's it from Karnataka. Now over to my colleague Ashwin from Kerala. He takes you through the developments that's happening there.
Well, thank you, Deepak. In fact, it is Shashi Tharoor who continues to be in the spotlight as far as Kerala news is concerned, where we see multiple Congress leaders, the top leaders of the Congress party, backing him. This comes at a time there were many news that had come about saying that Shashi Tharoor is in fact unhappy with the way he was treated in a Mahapanchayat in which Rahul Gandhi was taking part, and after which he raised his objections directly and in fact missed some of the crucial meeting. In fact, today the top leaders of the Congress party has stated categorically that no matter what, Shashi Tharoor will remain a congressman. However, they also said that Shashi Tharoor is not a seasoned politician. In fact, a four-time MP is not a seasoned politician, is what the leader of opposition had to say. Let's hear all these reactions that is coming in from the Congress side.
It is all absurd. Tharoor is not going to any party. He will be a congressman. It is all absurd. Tharoor is not going to any party. He will be a congressman.
He will be in Congress party. He will be our main propaganda leader, especially in Thiruvananthapuram. There is no problem about him. He's always a congressman.
He's always a congressman?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And so in future also he will be.
But his style of working doesn't seem to be compatible, is it so?
No, some suggestions here. Yeah, he's telling only some suggestions.
Okay.
He will not quit the party.
He is not a seasoned politician or that type of man. He is a writer.
Four-time MP.
That is also.
How can he not be a seasoned?
He is not a seasoned politician. He is our asset. He is our MP. He is our asset. And he will be here in Kerala for the election propaganda. And he wants to make the win of UDF in Kerala.
Well, that's it from all of us on the Southern View. Thanking my colleague Ritu, Ashwin and Vijay. We'll be back tomorrow same time. Stay tuned to NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने INS विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क, द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
सरसों से सरसों.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसपे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
M3M presents NDTV Master Stroke Art Awards. An odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
I have always had this inclination to
Welcome back. Thanks very much for staying with us. You're watching NDTV 24/7 with me, Raisha Saigal. Lots lined for you on the show, but first, the headlines. Mother of all deals, India-EU FTA sealed. Prime Minister Modi says biggest ever free trade pact in Indian history. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen hails the pact, says we delivered the mother of all deals. New UGC rules trigger massive storm. Petitions in Supreme Court challenges UGC regulation defining caste discrimination. Former city magistrate who called the rules anti-Brahmin suspended by UP government. Major setback for Vijay Jananayagan Rao. Vijay's Jananayagan release delayed further. Madras High Court puts aside single judge order. Shakil Ahmed claims threat to life after he spoke out against Rahul Gandhi, calling him a darpok. Alleges violence against his premises was planned under Rahul Gandhi's directions. Congress dismisses charge. US snowstorm sweeps across the nation. At least 25 reported as thousands shiver without electricity. A fresh controversy has erupted on X after Grok, the platform's AI assistant, wrongly translated a diplomatic post by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, turning a routine message of goodwill into a politically charged statement about the Maldives. With some breaking news, and this is regarding the pre-budget meet which just concluded a short while ago. What we are now learning is that Union Minister Rijiju has said that our duty is to listen to all political parties. He further goes on to say that parties got ample time for SIR debate last session and they are elected to raise people's issue. But Rijiju also laid the importance of listening, and of course this meeting is aimed at ensuring smooth functioning of Parliament and managing issues that are expected to arise during the session. Take a listen.
Once the law is before the nation, we have to follow it. Once a bill is placed in the House, passed by the Parliament, becomes an act, and in the process of implementation, we can reverse the gear and bring back and go back to the past. It cannot happen. And moreover, members are free to raise the issue, but we have to follow the constitutionalities, rules, regulations, and conventions of the House.
And well, that's Union Minister Kiren Rijiju perhaps outlining that it's important to listen. While in the last session, SIR also had ample time to be discussed. And of course, this meeting is aimed at ensuring smooth functioning of Parliament and managing issues that are expected to arise during the session. The statement by Rijiju comes after an all-party meeting which was convened today. It comes ahead of the budget session of Parliament, which will take place, and a lot of ministers were a part of this. But Rijiju highlighted that the parties got ample time, that you have to listen. He also, on the G-Gram bill, he further went on to say that cannot go back once law before nation. He again emphasized that it is important to listen, and the statement and the all-party meeting which was convened today, it happens to ease the smooth functioning of Parliament and also manage issues, perhaps so that there's no ruckus which is created when the Parliament convenes. I'll reiterate what Union Minister Kiren Rijiju said after the all-party meeting convened today ahead of the budget session. He said that our duty is to listen to all political parties. He also emphasized that parties got ample time for SIR debate last session, but he says that it is important to listen and it is elected to raise people's issues. The lawmakers will be raising a slew of issues, but a smooth and easy functioning of Parliament can only take place if the leaders actually listen. My colleague Vasudha is joining me live. Vasudha, talk to us more about how Rijiju has laid out outline that is important to listen ahead of the budget session, and this of course comes after the all-party meeting convened today. Well, there seems to be some technical glitch with my colleague Vasudha. Vasudha, if you can hear me, talk to us more about this message that Kiren Rijiju has sent across ahead of the budget session of Parliament. Already we've lost our line with my colleague there. But again, asserting Kiren Rijiju saying that it's our duty to listen to all political parties. And this, of course, comes ahead of the budget session. My colleague Prashant is now joining live. Prashant, over to you. Talk to us about the broader messaging that Rijiju is sending across, perhaps for a smooth functioning of the session.
That's right. This meeting was precisely called for, ensuring that the budget session of Parliament, which is commencing tomorrow, goes on smooth. And government wanted to seek, suggestions from all the parties, and that is why they called this meeting. So far as opposition parties are concerned, they have raised 3-4 very important issues, according to them. First, of course, is the SIR, which is going on in different parts of the country. They are saying that this is being misused to delete names, and this is being done not according to the law. So first issue they want to raise is the SIR. Secondly, they are saying that government is misusing the central agencies like the ED and CBI. Especially Trinamool Congress raised this issue in the all-party meeting, and they, gave the instance of ED raid on IPAC office just a few days back, where Mamata Banerjee also rushed in and voiced her concerns. Thirdly, they are saying that a big issue is Viksit Bharat Ji Ramji bill, which Congress has been protesting on against, and they are saying that government is trying to finish the Manrega, which has been going on for the last 15 years. So these 3-4 issues which opposition parties have been raising, and they wanted the government to have a discussion on these issues inside the parliament.
Right, Prashant. Thanks for getting us the latest on this. So breaking news coming in for you, and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has yet again escalated war against the Election Commission. We are learning that the TMC has sought a green light for Delhi Election Commission protest. TMC, Mamata Banerjee's party, is now all set to stage demonstration outside the ED Delhi office. Mamata will lead that demonstration, which will happen outside the ED Delhi office with around 300 TMC workers. Remember, this comes after there was a showdown between the ED and Mamata Banerjee a few weeks ago in Kolkata, when there was an allegation on Mamata Banerjee on rather taking away the evidence. There was an allegation of evidence chori. The latest coming in is that now Mamata Banerjee will be leading an anti-ED protest here in India's national capital with over 300 TMC workers. To give you a lowdown of all that, my colleague Shresi is now joining me live. Shresi, over to you. Tell us more about this protest that Mamata Banerjee is again taking out against the EC and even the ED.
Well, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is all set to go to New Delhi and take the fight against the BJP right at its doorstep at the national capital. And Chief Minister will be travelling with senior political leaders from her party, and she's likely to hold protests there. Of course, this coming at a time ahead of the budget session there in New Delhi, when all the political parties, especially the opposition, is going to be upping the ante against the central government, especially when it comes to the SIR and the G Ramji bill that has been proposed by the centre. And of course, we will be seeing the Chief Minister leading that fight in New Delhi, and that schedule is going to be shared by the Chief Minister's office shortly after the meeting that she's conducting right now, and we're going to get the details of her schedule in New Delhi. But we have seen the Chief Minister, whenever she travels to New Delhi, she meets other political leaders such as the AAP leaders as well as Congress leaders. We'll have to wait and see if there is any one-on-one schedule meeting that she proposes during her visit to New Delhi, as well as any visit to the Election Commission of India. That will also be of great importance. But right now, we can confirm that the Chief Minister will be travelling to New Delhi and taking the SIR fight as well to Delhi's doorstep.
Right, Tracy, stay with us. We'll come back to you in our next breaking news as well. All right, staying on with this, the SIR showdown, SP Chief Akhilesh has rather met Mamata Banerjee over SIR. He has now launched big attack on the BJP. He goes on to say that ED, CBI and IT department are BJP organizations. Not just that, he also says that BJP is using central agencies to its advantage. Before we go across to my colleague Shresi, who's been tracking this very closely, listen in to what Akhilesh Yadav said.
मैं दीदी की हिम्मत को, उनके लोगों को बधाई देता हूं कि इस जिम्मेदारी से वो जनता के लिए लड़ रहे हैं। और ये ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स बीजेपी के साथ चलता है। बीजेपी का एक संगठन है ये, जहां बीजेपी को लगता है कि इसको आगे करके लड़ा जा सकता है, वो आगे करके लड़ते हैं। पूरा महाराष्ट्र कैसे जीता? ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स।
All right, my colleague Shresi is still here with us. Shresi, tell us more about that bite given by Akhilesh Yadav, perhaps joining hands with Mamata Banerjee against SIR.
Well, that's right. He's here in the city of Kolkata for a personal visit along with his family. But on the sideline, he held a closed-door meeting with Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee at the State Secretariat. But more importantly, the Samajwadi Party and the Trinamool Congress share a close tie. We have seen Samajwadi Party leaders coming to West Bengal to campaign for the assembly elections here in West Bengal. Earlier, Jaya Bachchan had come down and campaigned for Arup Biswas, who's a sitting minister of the Trinamool Congress. So ahead of the elections, of course, any political meeting with any of the key opposition faces holds importance. And of course, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will be taking that fight to New Delhi and will be expecting that opposition unity as well, which she has been trying to stitch since the last Lok Sabha elections.
Right, Tracy, thanks for getting us the latest. We'll, of course, wait and have to see how that protest pans out against the EC and the ED that Mamata Banerjee plans to take out. And well, shifting our focus to the biggest news of the day, India and the European Union have now signed the mother of all deals in India's national capital today. India and the European Union have finalized free trade agreements, marking a major milestone in bilateral ties. The deal will gradually reduce tariffs on 96% of exports, that's from both the sides, India and the European Union, while keeping sensitive sectors such as cereals and dairy outside its scope. Prime Minister Modi described the pact as India's largest and most ambitious trade agreement ever, saying that it lays the foundation for shared prosperity between India's 1.4 billion people and Europe. Meanwhile, European Union Chief President Ursula von der Leyen said that the partnership between India and the EU goes beyond trade, enhancing security and resilience in an increasingly uncertain world, and announced the launch of the first ever India-EU security and defense partnership, marking a historical shift in bilateral ties between India and the European Union. Now remember, Indian exports including textiles, marine goods, leather, footwear, gems and jewelry, not just that, even toys and sports goods will gain zero duty access to European markets. India, in turn, will open its markets gradually to European cars priced above 25 lakh rupees and other wines. So wines will also get cheaper along with cars, automobiles, with safeguards in place through quotas and a 5-year exemption for automobiles. Take a listen.
एक और ऐतिहासिक अवसर है जब विश्व की दो सबसे बड़ी लोकतांत्रिक शक्तियां अपने संबंधों में एक निर्णायक अध्याय जोड़ रही है। फ्रेंड्स, पिछले कुछ वर्षों में भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के संबंधों में उल्लेखनीय प्रगति हुई है। साझा लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों, आर्थिक सिनर्जी और मजबूत पीपल टू पीपल टाइज के आधार पर हमारी साझेदारी नई ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंच रही है। आज भारत ने अपने इतिहास का अब तक का सबसे बड़ा फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट संपन्न किया है। आज 27 तारीख है। ये सुखद संयोग है कि आज ही के दिन यूरोपियन यूनियन के 27 देशों के साथ भारत ये एफटीए कर रहा है। यह एक ऐतिहासिक समझौता हमारे किसानों, हमारे छोटे उद्योगों, इसके यूरोपियन मार्केट तक पहुंच आसान बनाएगा, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में नए अवसर पैदा करेगा और हमारे सर्विसेज सेक्टर के बीच सहयोग को और प्रबल करेगा। रक्षा और सुरक्षा सहयोग किसी भी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की नींव होती है और आज हम इसे सिक्योरिटी एंड डिफेंस पार्टनरशिप के जरिए औपचारिक रूप दे रहे हैं। इससे काउंटर टेररिज्म, मैरीटाइम और साइबर सिक्योरिटी में हमारी साझेदारी और गहरी होगी। यह रूल्स बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर के प्रति हमारी साझा प्रतिबद्धता को भी बल देगा। इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में हमारे सहयोग का दायरा और बढ़ेगा और इसके साथ हमारी डिफेंस कंपनियां को डेवलपमेंट और को प्रोडक्शन के नए अवसर साकार करेगी।
Prime Minister, distinguished friend, we did it. We delivered the mother of all deals. We are creating a market of 2 billion people, and this is the tale of two giants, the world's second and fourth largest economies, two giants who choose partnership in a true win-win fashion. A strong message that cooperation is the best answer to global challenges. This trade will integrate further our supply chain and strengthen our joint manufacturing power. It will cut up to 4 billion euros in annual tariffs for exporters of all sizes. And it will create good jobs for millions of workers here in India and in Europe. At the same time, this agreement will build on the natural complementarity of our economies. It brings together Indian skills, services, and scale with Europe's technology, capital, and innovation. It will create levels of growth that neither side can achieve alone. And by combining these strengths, we reduce strategic dependencies at a time when trade is increasingly weaponized.
And well, for more on this, my colleague Aditya Rajkol is now joining me live. Aditya, you've been tracking this huge mega story for us since morning. The latest coming in is that Prime Minister Modi has said that this is perhaps a result of our shared resolve. Talk to us about the significance, the historic momentum that this deal sends across and the kind of message that it sends across to the global world order.
Well, yes, Rahesha, it's a mother of all deals, as rightly pointed out by India and EU. And a historic, momentous occasion that the India-EU FTA has been signed and inked. There's been a political declaration on the conclusion of the FTA talks. And finally, we have the deal. And that's what the EU Commission President, the Indian Prime Minister, and the EU Council President reiterated at the Hyderabad House at this iconic press statement that was issued just minutes ago. It took 20 years. It took 2 decades for negotiations to finally settle. One could say that the global tariff policy of the Donald Trump administration also pushed to a great extent for this deal to be materialized. But as Prime Minister pointed out, India is a land of great opportunities. And that's why from manufacturing to the trade and commerce, from the auto sector to wine, cheese and pasta, everything, the costs will be reduced drastically. The tariffs will almost go away. And this is a win-win situation for both India and the 27-member EU bloc. Because there have been, various talks on how this trade deal will finally be implemented. But finally, we have the nitty-gritties out there. 97% of the products will see a tariff reduction. The auto products, which have a 110% tariff right now, will be reduced gradually to merely 10%. So it's a huge relief coming in for the consumers as well as the business houses and those entrepreneurs of both India as well as the EU at this particular stage. So, of course, through the day, we will see other developments also. We'll see the top leadership of India and EU, in fact, talking at the business meet at the Bharat Mandapam, addressing the business community of both India and EU, giving them a positive picture and framework of the months and years ahead. Of course, this will have to go through the scrutiny of the EU Parliament. That could take a few weeks, certainly. But it's a great positive momentum at a time of global turbulence.
Absolutely, Aditya. Momentous occasion for India and the European Union with that historic mother of all deals being signed. Thanks, Aditya, for getting us the latest on this. All right, shifting our focus to another big story. A political storm has erupted over the University Grants Commission, UGC's new anti-discrimination rules. The Uttar Pradesh government has suspended former Bareilly's city magistrate Alankar Agnihotri and ordered a departmental probe. That's after he quit, calling the guidelines a black law. The former magistrate protested and said that he plans to move court over his suspension. He had alleged that he was held hostage at the DM office when he had gone for talks, a charge denied by the administration, calling the former city magistrate's claims, that's Agnihotri's claims, false. The new UGC rules mandate equity committees, helplines and monitoring systems to curb caste-based discrimination in colleges and universities. However, critics question the rule's definition of caste-based discrimination and alleging bias against general category. In fact, there are petitions submitted in the Supreme Court which challenge the rules, challenges UGC regulation defining caste discrimination. In fact, government sources have spoken to NDTV saying that they will not allow misuse of the new rules or any misinformation being spread.
सामान्य वर्ग इस समय बहुत ही खफा है, आपसे एक तरीके मानसिक रूप से अलग हो चुका है। देखा जाए तो केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार दोनों अब अल्पमत में आ चुकी हैं। सामान्य वर्ग बिल्कुल अलग हो चुका है। अलग आज अगर चुनाव हो जाए तो केंद्र और राज्य में दोनों जगह यह सरकार नहीं बचेगी। जो बीजेपी का प्रारूप पहले जो था भारतीय जनता पार्टी, आज वो विदेशी जनता पार्टी है। मेरा तो ये आह्वान है कि आप केंद्र सरकार तुरंत इस यूजीसी रेगुलेशन को वापस ले और जो उत्तर प्रदेश में जो ब्राह्मण विरोधी अभियान चल रहा है वो उसको भी तुरंत सरकार वापस ले, रोके।
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं हुई कि उनको बंधक बनाया गया या कोई ऐसी बात नहीं, मतलब बातचीत के लिए वो खुद ही गए थे और बात कर करके वो चले आए और उनका व्यू था कि नहीं हम साहब रोल बैक नहीं। बात ये हुई थी कि भाई आपको अगर कोई प्रेशर है किसी भी तरह को बताइए, जाकर के सो लीजिए। अगर तो आपको मेंटली कोई दिक्कत आ रही है 1-2 दिन टाइम ले लीजिए, छुट्टी चले जाइए। अगर आपको लगता है कि आपको कोई दिक्कत है 2-4 दिन छुट्टी ले लीजिए, लेकिन वो उस बात के लिए तैयार नहीं हुए और तो फिर उनको सौहार्दपूर्ण वातावरण में बात करके उनको वापस भेज दिया गया।
अब कोई का अपना अपना हक है। तो यूजीसी ने किया है, बहुत अच्छा काम किया है। ओबीसी का है, अति पिछड़ा का है, अन्य लोगों का जो कहा गया था, हमारे अंबेडकर साहब ने भी कहा था, लोहिया जी ने भी कहा था कि जिसकी जितनी जनसंख्या भारी मिलेगी उसको उतनी हिस्सेदारी, उस रूप में इसको पहले होना चाहिए था। अब किया है तो इसमें किसी को जो हक दे रहे हैं तो हकमारी अभी तक हो रही थी, अब हक देने की बात आई है तो किसी को रंजिश नहीं होना चाहिए। उनके प्रति भी सम्मान है, उनको भी जो उचित हक है दिया जा रहा है।
मैं नहीं जानता कौन है और ना ही मैंने कुछ सुना है इनके बारे में, लेकिन बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग होते हैं जिनकी चुनावी कीड़े जिनको काटने लगते हैं, राजनीति की बू आने लगती है जिनमें, तो एक बहाना तलाशते हैं।
अभी इसकी समीक्षा हो रही। मैं व्यक्तिगत अपनी राय जहाँ तक है, मैं चाहूँगा कि इस कमेटी जो बने सभी लोग सभी वर्गों के मिला के बने ताकि किसी के साथ पक्षपात ना हो सके।
कोई विरोध नहीं हो रहा है। वही लोग जो भेदभाव करते थे उनको परेशानी हो रही कि वो भेदभाव नहीं कर पाएंगे। कब तक बहुजन समाज अपने पढ़े लिखे नौजवानों की बलि देता रहेगा, वो जातिवाद की बलि चढ़ती रहेंगे, ये बहुत बड़ा सवाल है। हमने रोहित को खोया, पायल तड़वी को खोया, कब तक? ये तो बहुत दिन पहले होना चाहिए था, देर से हुआ। मैं स्पष्ट रूप से कहना चाहता हूं, अगर किसी भी दबाव में सरकार ने 1 इंच भी पैर पीछे हटाने की कोशिश की तो हम आगे किसी रोहित वेमुला की जान ना जाए, पायल तड़वी की, तो हम 85% कमजोर वर्ग के लोग, SC ST BC के लोग, हम लोग सड़कों पर उतर के इसका विरोध करेंगे। हम किसी कीमत पे अब अपने बच्चों को हायर एजुकेशन सेंटर में बढ़ने नहीं देंगे। ये बात मैं सरकार को बताना चाहता हूँ।
And well, for more on this, my colleague Ranveer is now joining me live. Ranveer, talk to us more about the UGC showdown that we're witnessing at this point of time.
BJP is in dilemma because the UGC guidelines have been imposed on 13th of January this year, and now opposition is targeting Bharatiya Janata Party, but still opposition is playing very safe because none of the biggest faces in the opposition, they have came forward, and the students who are associated with several universities, several colleges, they are protesting on roads and they are saying that the new guideline is against the general classes, and that's why they are demanding a rollback. They are not ready for any kind of amendment. They just want rollback of this new guideline, and they are claiming that the guideline issued in 2012 is the genuine one. There is no need of any kind of new guideline, and that's why politics is going on. And if we talk about Uttar Pradesh, a PCS officer, Alankar Agnihotri, he resigned yesterday and he was suspended tonight. So now an inquiry has been ordered, and Divisional Commissioner Bareilly, he will be doing this inquiry, and Alankar Agnihotri is continuously targeting UP government and saying that BJP as well as government, both of them are making discriminations with the general classes, especially Brahmins. And if we talk about another breaking news, officer in Ayodhya, Deputy Commissioner in the GST department, Prashant Kumar Singh, he also tendered his resignation, claiming that the statement given by Abhimukteshwaranand Saraswati against CM Yogi, against Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, he is very much disturbed because of these kind of statement by Swami Abhimukteshwaranand, and he is resigning in favor of government. So this is a unique kind of resignation I have ever seen, because Prashant Kumar Singh, posted in Ayodhya, he is resigning just to show his favor to the government as well as Bharatiya Janata Party. So another kind of politics is going on, where politicians are silent and the officials are vocal.
Right, Ranveer, stay with us. We'll come back to you in our next set of news as well. But let's tell you more about these UGC rules. Now, number one, will not allow misuse of rules. The second aspect is that misinformation is now being spread about new rules. Then it says, will put forth all facts to avoid confusion. And the opposition right now is trying to misuse this issue. So what are the UGC 2026 rules? Let's now take you through those guidelines. The concerns are, of course, wide discretion to committees, academic, and decisions can be contested. Also, no interim confidentiality for accused, reputational damage not addressed. Also, dilemma of speed versus thoroughness debate is also put front. All right, we have another set of breaking news coming in. This is the row over Prayagraj Seer, which has now gotten bigger. The Ayodhya GST Deputy Commissioner has now quit. He's backing the Yogi government. The Ayodhya bureaucrat has now sent his resignation to the UP governor. Ayodhya bureaucrat has said Seer insulted the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister. Further going on to say that the lawmaker says that we will not tolerate insult to the Chief Minister. This is, of course, the row, the Prayagraj Seer row, which has gotten bigger at this point of time. A few days ago, Prayagraj mill authorities had served fresh notice on to the Seers there, and the authorities had accused the Seers of breaking a bridge barrier using a chariot without permission. The latest coming in is that the Ayodhya lawmakers are now saying that the Seers there are insulting the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister.
स्पेशल इन्वेस्टिगेशन ब्रांच में, और मैंने सरकार के समर्थन में, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के समर्थन में, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के समर्थन में, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी के समर्थन में, इस राष्ट्र के संविधान के समर्थन में, इस राष्ट्र के लोकतंत्र के समर्थन में अपना इस्तीफा दिया है और कर्मचारी नियमावली आचरण के दायरे में रहते हुए समर्थन दिया है। मैं विगत 2 दिनों से जो शंकराचार्य जी हैं और मुक्तानंद जी और मुक्तेश्वरानंद जी, उनके अनर्गल बयान से, जो कि समाज को बांटने वाला बयान है, जो कि एक इतने बड़े प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री के व्यक्तिगत टिप्पणी करना, क्योंकि ये सरकार हमारी अन्नदाता है, हम उसका नमक खाते हैं और मेरा कर्तव्य नहीं है कि मैं एक रोबोट की तरह, एक यंत्र की तरह केवल सरकार से वेतन लूं।
And this is the Seer row, which has gotten bigger after Prashant Kumar, the GST Commissioner, resigned, giving his papers and backing the Yogi government. The Ayodhya bureaucrat has now sent his resignation to the UP governor after the Seer insulted the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister. Remember, a few days ago, the authorities in Prayagraj alleged that the Seers, they were not following the protocols, and the latest coming in is that the Ayodhya bureaucrat has said that we will not tolerate any kind of insult to the Chief Minister. The GST Deputy Commissioner has resigned in support of Chief Minister Yogi from Ayodhya on Shankar Acharya issue. Ayodhya has now a resignation on the issue, like I mentioned, on the issue of Shankaracharya. Prashant, who resigned, gave down his papers. He said, I cannot tolerate this insult to the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister. I was hurt for the last 3 days. When my resignation is accepted, I will start doing social work with my resources. Prashant Singh also says that being heard by the politics being done in the name of UGC, he's resigning while supporting Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Yogi. And that's what we're breaking here on NDTV. The row over Prayagraj Seer has only gotten bigger, with Prashant also resigning and saying that his resignation is in support of the Yogi government, and I have resigned on the Shankaracharya issue. He also says that I am in favor of the state from which I eat salt and the state from which I get my salary. And for more on this, Aarti Singh from Samajwadi Party is joining me live. Aarti, your first reaction to Prashant resigning and the row over Prayagraj Seer, which has only gotten bigger. Well, I have with us IP Singh from Samajwadi Party. So if you can hear me, your first reactions on the row over Prayagraj Seer has only gotten bigger at this point of time. With the latest coming in is that Ayodhya GST Deputy Commissioner Prashant quitting and saying that I will respect the salt, the land from where I come, and has perhaps backed the Yogi government.
देखिए, जिस तरह से उत्तर प्रदेश में तानाशाही है और एक पूज्य शंकराचार्य जो धर्माचार्य हैं, जिनकी साख और विश्वसनीयता सिर्फ भारत ही नहीं दुनिया में हो, और एक संत और उनके शिष्यों को जिस तरह से, जिन्हें बटुक कहा जाता है, जिनकी आयु 8 साल से 12-15 साल के बीच थी, जिस तरह से संगम क्षेत्र में माघ मेले में जिस तरह से उन्हें मारा गया, उनकी चोटियां पकड़कर उनको घसीटा गया, पूज्य शंकराचार्य जी को बेइज्जत किया गया। आज 9-10 दिन बीत गया, वो अनशन पर बैठे हैं। लेकिन ऐसी तानाशाही और मुख्यमंत्री का जो रवैया है, शायद उत्तर प्रदेश के इतिहास में कोई ऐसा मुख्यमंत्री नहीं हुआ जो इस तरह की कभी तानाशाही जैसे फैसले लिए हों। क्या सरकार इसमें झुक नहीं सकती थी? उप मुख्यमंत्री श्री केशव प्रसाद मौर्य ने कहा कि हम जाना चाहते हैं लेकिन हमें ऊपर से रोका जा रहा है। मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि भारत सरकार, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी को इसमें हस्तक्षेप करना चाहिए कि साधु संतों के नाम पर और राम जन्मभूमि के नाम पर सरकार बनाने वाली बीजेपी और एक मठाधीश जो गोरक्षपीठ के मठाधीश हैं, जो हिंदू धर्म और सनातन धर्म के कुरीतियों के खिलाफ जिस मठ की स्थापना हुई, जो न सनातनी है, क्योंकि सनातनी शिखा रखता है, सनातनी जनेऊ पहनता है, सनातनी लंगोट धारण करता है, ये कुछ नहीं। कभी भी राम जन्मभूमि आंदोलन से योगी आदित्यनाथ का कोई जुड़ाव नहीं था, लेकिन आज वो सबसे बड़े सनातनी बनते हुए आज संतों के ऊपर ही प्रहार कर रहे हैं और उन्हें अपमानित कर रहे हैं। ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। समाजवादी पार्टी मांग करती है कि पूज्य शंकराचार्य जी के साथ सौहार्दपूर्ण व्यवहार सरकार करे और उन्हें स्नान के लिए आमंत्रित करे और मुख्यमंत्री माफी मांगे।
Right. IP, sir, Prashant Kumar Singh has clearly said that I have resigned in support of Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Yogi, and he has rather said that all these seers इन्होंने insult किया है of the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister. उसके हिसाब से आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
अब देखिए, ये तो देखना होगा कि कल एक होनहार 2019 बैच के एक पीसीएस अफसर जो सिटी मजिस्ट्रेट थे, उन्होंने भी रिजाइन किया है। कई लोगों ने ऐसे मुद्दों पर रिजाइन किया। मैं समझता हूं कि जिस तरह से इस्तीफे हो रहे हैं, जिस तरह के माहौल हैं, ये तो 1989, 90, 91 के जो हालात थे उस तरह से उत्तर प्रदेश और देश में परिस्थितियां बनती जा रही है। ये बहुत ही चिंताजनक है और सरकार को, चाहे केंद्र सरकार हो चाहे उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार हो, उसे अपने इन जो बड़े मुद्दे हैं उन मुद्दों पर पुनर्विचार करना चाहिए और समाज को बांटने की जगह समाज को जोड़ने के लिए सरकार काम करे तो बहुत ही
right, sir. We also being joined by Rashid Alvi from Congress Party. Mr. Alvi, your first reactions on Prashant Kumar Singh resigning, the commissioner there saying that I'm resigning in support of Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Yogi. IPG जो हमारे साथ इधर है वो कह रहे हैं कि शंकराचार्य की इंसल्ट हुई है, बट आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि हम ये भी जान रहे हैं दैट ये जो सारे सीयर्स थे उनने प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी और चीफ मिनिस्टर योगी आदित्यनाथ की इंसल्ट की है।
Definitely it is very unfortunate. Yogi Adityanath, Chief Minister Uttar Pradesh, who is himself Yogi, always talk about Ram Rajya. He is always supporting Sadhu, Mahatma, and now in Uttar Pradesh where he is ruling over the state, Shankaracharya is being harassed. They don't have respect for him. His followers are being beaten by the police. So this is nothing but they are insulting not only Shankaracharya, they are insulting Sanatan Dharma. Either they should not talk about any religion, about Hinduism, about Sanatan Dharma. Shankaracharya is a very respectable person, and so many times he has spoken against us also. But in spite of that, we have great respect for him. Because people of this country, they have respect for Shankaracharya. I can't even think, no one can think that his followers are being beaten by UP police under the instructions of Chief Minister. Right. So I strongly condemn, and I am sure that what Yogi ji is doing, it is with the blessing of Prime Minister and Home Minister, because they both are also silent. They are not raising any question.
We'll have to leave it there, but the bureaucrat alleges that the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister were insulted by the Shankaracharya and all this years there, but thanks for sharing your insights. On that note, we slip into a very short break, but come right back. Lots lined up for you.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क, द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
बरसों से सरसों.
लोग कहते हैं कि जिंदगी एक फिल्म की तरह होती है, लेकिन मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ एक फिल्म नहीं, एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म है. बचपन से पता था मेरे सपनों में दम है. आगे नहीं, सबसे आगे जाना है. स्टार नहीं, सुपरस्टार बन के दिखाना है. नाम मिला, फेम मिला, प्यार मिला. I was not just running, I was flying. सबकी जुबां पे बस एक ही नाम, यो हनी सिंगर. लेकिन फिर ब्लॉकबस्टर कहानी में आया एक ट्विस्ट. 7वें आसमान से सीधा गिरा मैं जमीन पर. फिर क्या, खुद पे काम दोबारा शुरू. फैंस ने फिर प्यार दिखाया, फिर स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बनाया. है ना मेरी जिंदगी एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म. शुक्रिया आपकी प्रेयर्स का और आपके प्यार का. कॉन्सर्ट्स तो आपने बहुत देखे होंगे, बट दिस इज गोना बी कॉन्सर्ट ऑफ अ लाइफटाइम. क्योंकि मेरे फैंस ही हैं मेरी विक्ट्री, मेरी हिस्ट्री, मेरी ग्लोरी. सो कम एंड विटनेस यो हनी सिंह. दिस इज माय.
Welcome back. Thanks very much for staying with us. You're watching NDTV with me, and let's shift our focus to another big news that we're tracking for you, and this is regarding the Patna NEET aspirant rape story. This is the outrage which has now grown over the rape and murder of a NEET aspirant in Patna. The report of a minor needs student who was murdered in a hostel in Bihar's Patna has confirmed rape. It also mentioned that she suffered horrific injuries before she died. According to then autopsy report, injury marks were found all over her body and her death was not natural. The report also added that she suffered injuries in her private parts. Her body and neck had bruises and marks indicative of being subjected to strong pressure. It is also stated that the nature of the injuries suggests that the student fought back hard and resisted the attack in every possible way. The post-mortem report mentioned the cause of death as strangulation or suffocation, which supports the allegation that she was murdered.
हम तो मांग कर रहे हैं कि न्यायिक जांच हो, सुप्रीम कोर्ट या हाई कोर्ट के वर्तमान न्यायाधीश देखने को। अगर न्याय नहीं मिलेगा तो हम लोग आत्मदाह करने का प्रयास करेंगे।
और कहा पुलिस एकदम स्वतंत्र है, एक एक कार्रवाई करो और एकदम आश्वस्त करता हूं जो दोषी है उसको हम माला पहनाने नहीं कहेंगे, माला चढ़ाने के लिए ही कहेंगे। उसको माला चढ़ा कर ही आओ, पुलिस की इसकी आवश्यकता ही नहीं है। कोई यदि छोटी सी बच्ची के साथ इस तरह का घिनौना अपराध करता हो उसको बख्शा नहीं जा सकता।
And well, for more on this, my colleague Raman Rai is now joining me on the phone line. Raman, what's the latest that you can add to this, with outrage only growing over the rape and murder of an 18-year-old teenager? Where is the case headed to at this point of time? We heard the girl's father seeking and asking for justice.
Yeah, see, absolutely. This is getting very technical kind of a case where a family already alleges that the SIT is not investigating this matter properly, and that's why the father is also alleging for that and demanding proper, transparent investigation from the DGP. He also writes to DGP. But the latest development is that SIT team and the forensic team is collected the DNA sample of the family members, and as well as the staff who were stayed at the hostel also. So it's till 11 candidates who given their DNA sample to the SIT team, and thereafter family also alleges that proper investigation is not going into this matter. And Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary yesterday summoned all the top police officials at his residence. He also said that no one will be spared off, whoever is accused in this case. So we have to see that it is already delayed. More than 20 days it had been done. At the January 6th, she fainted at her hostel, and today is around 27th of January. So it is already 21 days delayed, and there is multiples of questions also is being raised on the investigation of the police. So we'll have to watch and see what police will tell next.
Right, Raman, we will wait and have to track the case closely with you, but thanks for getting us the latest. All right, we will be continuing to track that story, but for now, slipping into a very short break. Come right back to our stand-up.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क, द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
बरसों से सरसों.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
The most powerful voices of Tamil Nadu on one stage. From the Chief Minister to the opposition, from legacy to the road to 2026. Economy, governance, cinema, ideology, NDTV Tamil Nadu Summit. Only on NDTV 24/7.
NDTV 24/7, total domination in Davos. The world's biggest voices first. Iconic visionary Bill Gates. World Bank President Ajay Banga. IMF Chief Kristalina Georgieva. IBM CEO and President Arvind Krishna. India's AI Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. NDTV is India's voice in the world. First interview with Maharashtra Chief Minister. First interview with Andhra Chief Minister. First interview with Assam Chief Minister. India's first ground event in Davos. NDTV puts India on the global stage. Davos, domination, no debate.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
The most powerful voices of Tamil Nadu on one stage. From the Chief Minister to the opposition. From legacy to the road to 2026. Economy, governance, cinema, ideology. NDTV Tamil Nadu Summit. Only on NDTV 24/7. 1st February 2026. What will change? Will costs be more handy? Will my essentials get cheaper? Will my business grow bigger? Will I get richer? Will loans get easier? Will shopping be more fun? Will the prices drop? So I get more. What will happen? Union Budget 2026 on NDTV Network.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
सरसों से सरसों.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
I don't sugarcoat.
Welcome back. Lost land for you here on the show and shifting our focus to Tamil Nadu, wherein a major setback for Vijay's movie Jananayagan The Madras High Court has now set aside the single judge's order on giving censor certificate to the highly anticipated movie. Delaying its release further, the Madras High Court has set aside the earlier single judge order that directed the CBFC to issue a censor certificate to Vijay's Jananayagan and has rather remitted the matter for a fresh hearing. The dispute rose after the CBFC delayed the certification procedure and subsequently subjected the movie to further review, prompting the makers to move the court as the release was stalled. That's on January 9th. Jananayagan billed as Vijay's last movie before he steps into politics full-time, was originally scheduled to be released in theatres worldwide on January 9th ahead of the Pongal festival. But just days before the release, the CBFC production house KVN Productions announced that the movie had been referred to the revising committee based on a complaint by the board.
This is quite a shocker to the entire industry because already the January month is completely lost, except for two films which has done reasonably okay. But whole industry was waiting for a big box office collection, and everything is lost because the film is not released. And now looks like it is going to be a long-drawn political and legal journey for the film to come out. I'm saying political because this doesn't seem to be like a simple legal process alone.
And while Vijay has been tracking this story very closely, Vijay, another setback for Thalapathi's Jananayagan, and till date there is no release date for his movie. Tell us more. Where do you see things headed to? Well, there seems to be, well, Prime Minister Modi is there with Ursula von der Leyen. Take a listen. And we're getting live visuals of Prime Minister Modi with EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen after the historic free trade agreement which was signed between India and the European Union. This is, of course, the picture of the contingent of India and the European Union after they signed a free trade agreement earlier today. This is, of course, this was in making for around 2 decades. And we're getting you live visuals. We see Ursula von der Leyen there walking beside Prime Minister Modi. Earlier in the day, Ursula von der Leyen said that we did it. And this is perhaps an example for the world order after the free trade agreement signed between India and the European Union. We also had the delegation from European Union here in India for the Republic Day celebrations. And we are now getting you the visuals of the Indian contingent and the European Union contingent together for a big group photograph. That's after the India-EU Business Forum. This was after mother of all deals was signed between India and the European Union, which perhaps results in gradual tariff reduction for 96% of exports from both the countries. And well, the atmosphere is perhaps jubilant because this deal wasn't making for almost 18 years. That's at least 2 decades. And these are the visuals which were recorded just moments ago. We're getting you live here on NDTV. The Raj callers are joining me live. Aditya, of course, you mentioned that the nitty-gritties of the FTA will be laid out in moments from now, and I suppose it has already been done. We have the group picture of the India and EU contingent there at the India-EU Business Forum. Aditya, over to you.
Well, that's right. This is the first India-EU Business Forum that is happening at the Bharat Mandapam in the national capital. And this is happening just minutes after India and EU sealed a historic milestone of an FTA, free trade agreement between New Delhi and Brussels after an 18 years long wait. There have been several twists and turns in this, but now there is, of course, great news for of course, consumers as well as business houses and entrepreneurs in the field of auto to wines and whiskies and automobile enthusiasts all across Europe and India as well. So the 27-member bloc of EU and India have sealed the FTA, and now Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the EU leadership at the Bharat Mandapam to speak on what this means for the business, commerce and trade between India and the European Union. This will be a historic milestone where, of course, imported European items will be cheaper in India with a massive reduction in duties. At the same time, big auto manufacturers like Mercedes, BMW, Audi cars will get massively cheaper here in India. What we are learning is that the European cars such as Mercedes, BMW, Audi currently attract close to 100% to 110% tariffs. And according to the new agreement that has been finalized between India and EU, cars costing more than 1,500 euros, around 16 lakhs in India, will now attract a duty of 40%. This duty was much more than 50% currently. So this is a huge relief coming in for the consumers here in India as well. Of course, other fields from science and technology to artificial intelligence to, of course, other fields of commerce will also see massive reduction in tariffs. Apart from the main priority areas of the FTA, of course, defense and security cooperation has been on top of the agenda. Most importantly, the EU leaders condemned the Pahalgam terror attack and as well as the Red Fort terror attack. They, in fact, sought an international action. In fact, they said that decisive, concerted international efforts are required to combat terrorism in a comprehensive and sustained manner. There's a joint statement that has been issued between the two countries that speaks in detail about the kind of important developments that have happened. I mentioned the auto sector. Similar is the brewery industry and the spirits also, where wines are imported from European markets such as France, Italy and Spain. And now they will have a massive reduction in the duties and will be much cheaper thanks to this new agreement that has been achieved. India currently charges an import duty of close to 150% on imported wine, and the new agreement that has been inked today proposes reducing this to 20%. So there is a huge 130% relief that is coming in for the consumer. So this has massive consequences in a positive way.
Aditya, we'll have to leave it there. We're slipping into a very short break, but you've been tracking this story very closely for all of us. The mother of all deals, indeed, between India and the European Union, slipping into a short break.
US, Malaysia.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क, द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933. बरसों से सरसों.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा.
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
टीएमसी जावे, बीजेपी आसमे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
M3M presents NDTV Master Stroke Art Awards. An odyssey of creative brilliance, where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is
Hello everybody, you're watching NDTV. After nearly 2 decades of negotiations, India and the EU have finally finalized a landmark free trade agreement that goes beyond tariffs. It signals a strategic realignment, also the larger message that India is sending out to the world. Who gains what? We will take you through all of that in just a bit. First up, the headlines. New UGC rules trigger massive storm. Petitions in Supreme Court challenge UGC regulation defining caste discrimination. Former city magistrate who called the rules anti-Brahmin has been suspended by UP government. Mother of all deals, India-EU FTA has been sealed. The Prime Minister calls it the biggest ever free trade pact in Indian history. The chief of EU has also responded, saying we delivered the mother of all deals. The setback for actor turned politician TVK chief Vijay in Jananayakan controversy. Vijay's Jananayakan movie release has been delayed further. The movie is stuck in legal hurdles after Madras High Court puts aside the single judge order. Congress leader Shakil Ahmed now claims threat to life after he spoke out against Rahul Gandhi, calling him a darpok. He has alleged violence against him has been planned under Rahul Gandhi's directions. Congress has completely dismissed these charges. US snowstorm sweeps across the nation. At least 25 deaths have been reported as thousands shiver without electricity. A fresh controversy now has erupted on X after Grok. The Parliament's AI assistant wrongly translated a diplomatic post by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, turning a routine message of goodwill into a politically charged statement about the Maldives. Well, while there have been massive protests against the new UGC regulations that look at safety of students in Indian higher education institutions, ensuring that they don't face any discrimination, Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has now responded on the issue, and he has said, and I quote, "I assure everyone that there will be no discrimination and that nobody can misuse the law." Education Minister on new UGC regulations has assured fair implementation of UGC 2026 rules. Dharmendra Pradhan has said that nobody can misuse the law. This is a statement of assurance coming in from the Education Minister himself, saying that law will not be misused. Let's listen in.
किसी को उत्पीड़न होने नहीं दिया जाए, कोई भेदभाव नहीं होगा, कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के नाम पे किसी को भी मिसयूज करने का अधिकार नहीं रहेगा। इसमें यूजीसी हो, भारत सरकार हो या राज्य सरकार हो, इसकी दायित्व रहेगी। मैं आश्वस्त करता हूँ, उसको जो व्यवस्था हुई है, भारत की कुछ भी व्यवस्था हो, संविधान की परिधि के अंदर होगा। और ये जो विषय आई है, ये तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की निगरानी में व्यवस्था है। इसमें आश्वस्त मैं फील करना चाहता हूँ, कोई भी किसी के ऊपर भी अत्याचार या किसी को भी भेदभाव नहीं किया जाएगा।
Well, Akhilesh, my colleague, joins us now. Akhilesh, very important and timely clarification by the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, who's saying that all of this has been done because Supreme Court has been demanding this. He has also assured people of this country, many of whom have been protesting against the UGC regulations, that misuse of law will not happen here. Explain to us the significance of his clarification and also what kind of assurance has he given?
Well, it's a very significant assurance which has come directly from the Education Minister, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, because we have seen in the past few days how the students and various bodies have been protesting. They are saying that the new UGC guidelines are discriminatory. They actually give an opportunity to actually target a certain kind of section of the society, which is very discriminatory against the constitution. So the protest has been going on at various places. In fact, today there was a protest planned at the UGC headquarters also. But now the education minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, clarifying very clearly that there will not be any discrimination, and also nobody will be allowed to misuse this guidelines. This assurance has just come ahead of the commencement of the budget session, which begins tomorrow. And we have seen in the all-party meeting today that various political leaders, including Priyanka Chaturvedi of Shiv Sena UBT, have raised this issue and said very clearly that government should actually intervene and clarify the matter. In fact, in the morning also, Vasudha, we reported that the government will soon come up with a clarification. And now the clarification has come directly from the education minister, and he's really saying very clearly that there will not be any discrimination and it will not be allowed to be misused. And in fact,
I mean, if you look at the new rules, they are being seen as a reform move because the rules also look at, equity commission. They look at representation from different sections of society. So clearly, there seems to be some thought that has been put into these regulations. Is the government worried that some of its own supporters are going against it? And also, is there any other move by the government to ensure that this storm is taken care of? And how is the opposition reacting to this?
That's correct, Vasudha. In fact, what sources are indicating now that after the assurance given by the education minister, the government is likely to look into the finer details of the notification which has been issued in form of the UGC guidelines. And if the need arises, some tweaks can be done. So to pacify the supporters of the BJP, because we have seen that how supporters of the BJP in Uttar Pradesh have actually protested, and the BJP faces tough challenge there because in the coming months there will be panchayat elections in Uttar Pradesh, and within a year there is going to be assembly election in Uttar Pradesh. So of course the government feels that there needs to be a clarification which has to be issued. That's why education minister has intervened. And as far as the opposition parties are concerned, some political parties, including UBT, Shiv Sena UBT, they have raised their voice against these provisions.
Right. Thank you, Akhilesh, for joining us with that important piece of breaking news. Dharmendra Pradhan, the education minister, has reacted on the UGC controversy after protests erupted from several parts of the country. We're talking about the political storm that has erupted over the UGC's new anti-discrimination laws. These rules have been put in place to ensure students and teachers don't feel discriminated against, especially when it comes to caste. Uttar Pradesh government, meanwhile, has suspended former Bareilly city magistrate Alankar Agnihotri, and it has also ordered a departmental investigation after he quit, calling the guidelines a black law. This happened yesterday. Now, the former bureaucrat or magistrate protested, and he said that he plans to move court over his suspension by the government. He has also alleged that he was held hostage at the DM's office when he had gone there for talks. Now, that's a charge that's been denied by the administration. The administration has called the former city magistrate's claims completely false. The new UGC regulations, just to remind our viewers, it talks about equity committees, helplines, monitoring systems to curb caste-based discrimination in colleges and higher education universities. But critics have also questioned the rule's definition of caste-based discrimination, and they have alleged bias against general category students. In fact, they are the ones who have been protesting, and there have also been petitions submitted in the Supreme Court which challenge these rules, challenge the regulations defining caste discrimination. In fact, government sources spoke to NDTV saying that they won't allow misuse of the new laws. In fact, Dharmendra Pradhan, the education minister himself, has reacted to this.
सामान्य वर्ग इस समय बहुत ही खफा है, आपसे एक तरीके मानसिक रूप से अलग हो चुका है। देखा जाए तो केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार दोनों अब अल्पमत में आ चुकी हैं। सामान्य वर्ग बिल्कुल अलग हो चुका है। आज अगर चुनाव हो जाए तो केंद्र और राज्य में दोनों जगह यह सरकार नहीं बचेगी। जो बीजेपी का प्रारूप पहले जो था भारतीय जनता पार्टी, आज वो विदेशी जनता पार्टी है। मेरा तो ये आह्वान है कि आप केंद्र सरकार तुरंत इस यूजीसी रेगुलेशन को वापस ले, और जो उत्तर प्रदेश में जो ब्राह्मण विरोधी अभियान चल रहा है वो उसको भी तुरंत सरकार वापस ले, रोके।
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं हुई कि उनको बंधक बनाया गया या कोई ऐसी बात नहीं। मतलब बातचीत के लिए वो खुद ही गए थे और बात कर करके वो चले आए, और उनका व्यू था कि नहीं हम साहब रोल बैक नहीं। बस बात ये हुई थी कि भाई आपको अगर कोई प्रेशर है किसी भी तरह को बताइए, जाकर के सो लीजिए। अगर तो आपको मेंटली कोई दिक्कत आ रही है, 1-2 दिन टाइम ले लीजिए, छुट्टी चले जाइए। अगर आपको लगता है कि आपको कोई दिक्कत है 2-4 दिन छुट्टी रह लीजिए। लेकिन वो उस बात के लिए तैयार नहीं हुए, और तो फिर उनको सौहार्दपूर्ण वातावरण में बात करके उनको वापस भेज दिया गया।
सब कोई का अपना अपना हक है। तो यूजीसी ने किया है, बहुत अच्छा काम किया है। ओबीसी का है, अति पिछड़ा का है, अन्य लोगों का जो कहा गया था, हमारे अंबेडकर साहब ने भी कहा था, लोहिया जी ने भी कहा था कि जिसकी जितनी जनसंख्या भारी मिलेगी उसको उतनी हिस्सेदारी, उस रूप में इसको पहले होना चाहिए था। अब किया है तो इसमें किसी को जो हक दे रहे हैं तो हकमारी अभी तक हो रही थी, अब हक देने की बात आई है तो किसी को रंजिश नहीं होना चाहिए। उनके प्रति भी सम्मान है, उनको भी जो उचित हक है दिया जा रहा है।
मैं नहीं जानता कौन है और ना ही मैंने कुछ सुना है इनके बारे में, लेकिन बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग होते हैं जिनकी चुनावी कीड़े जिनको काटने लगते हैं, राजनीति की बू आने लगती है जिनमें, तो एक बहाना तलाशते हैं।
और मैं व्यक्तिगत अपनी राय यहाँ तक है, मैं चाहूँगा कि इस कमेटी जो बने सभी लोगों सभी वर्गों के मिला के बने, ताकि किसी के साथ पक्षपात ना हो सके।
कोई विरोध नहीं हो रहा है। वही लोग जो भेदभाव करते थे उनको परेशानी हो रही है कि वो भेदभाव नहीं कर पाएंगे। कब तक बहुजन समाज अपने पढ़े लिखे नौजवानों की बलि देता रहेगा, वो जातिवाद की बलि चढ़ती रहेंगे, ये बहुत बड़ा सवाल है। हमने रोहित को खोया, पायल तड़वी को खोया, कब तक? ये तो बहुत दिन पहले होना चाहिए था, देर से हुआ। हर किसी भी दबाव में सरकार ने 1 इंच भी पैर पीछे हटाने की कोशिश की, तो हम आगे किसी रोहित वेमुला की जान ना जाए, पायल तड़वी की, तो हम 85% कमजोर वर्ग के लोग, SC ST BC के लोग, हम लोग सड़कों पर उतर के इसका विरोध करेंगे। हम किसी कीमत पे अब अपने बच्चों को हायर एजुकेशन सेंटर में बढ़ने नहीं देंगे। ये बात मैं सरकार को बताना चाहता हूँ।
So why are the UGC's equity regulations the bone of contention between protesters and the UGC now? The concerns are mainly due to wide discretion that have been allotted to institutional committees. In fact, there's institutional accountability that has been put in place by these new rules. The general category students, however, say that they have no refuge, and if they want to raise a complaint, they have no avenues to do so under the new laws. Remember that these laws have been put in place after the Supreme Court repeatedly demanded them from the centre, and this is with regard to the 2012 UGC rules implementation. The country has seen deaths like Rohit Vemula and Payal Tadvi, which have also been linked to caste discrimination. Hence, these rules were deemed important. But the protesters, mainly from general categories, have been saying that there is no confidentiality for the accused, and there's also reputational damage if the complaints are not addressed. They have said that these rules, if they get implemented, will also make institutions, higher education institutions, theatres of caste assertion. That's the big claim that they've made, and protests have taken place in different parts of the country. But now, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has come out and he has responded, saying that this has been done because the Supreme Court mandated it, and that the government will ensure that there will be no misuse of laws. Moving on, a political face-off has erupted over the government's all-party meeting ahead of the budget session in the parliament from the 28th of January. The opposition has set out at the central government over transparency, and Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju has now hit back at the opposition. As per sources, opposition MPs have raised 4 major issues in this all-party meeting. They want a discussion on the VBG Ramji bill, Manrega. They want to raise farmer-related issues in the meeting. CPM MP John Brittas has called out the government over lack of transparency over parliament agendas. He has also said that the opposition cannot be blamed for continuous disruptions in the parliament. Union Minister for Parliamentary Affairs Kiran Rijiju, however, has hit back at the opposition, and he has said that there was ample time that was given to the opposition and also opportunities for the SIR debate that took place in the last session of the parliament. He said that it was the government's responsibilities to raise issues of the public. Meanwhile, the Congress is also slated to hold a budget session strategy meeting today at 5 p.m.
इस तारीख यानी कि कल आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति जी का अभिभाषण से शुरू होगी। ज्वाइंट सेशन ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट कल 11 बजे तय किया गया है, और 29 तारीख को इकोनॉमिक सर्वे पेश किया जाएगा, और 1 तारीख जो तय किया गया है नरेंद्र मोदी जी का सरकार आने के बाद 1 फरवरी को आम बजट पेश किया जाएगा। Once the law is before the nation, we have to follow it. Once a bill is placed in the House, passed by the Parliament, becomes an act, and in the process of implementation, we can't reverse the gear and bring back and go back to the past. It cannot happen. And moreover, members are free to raise the issue, but we have to follow the constitutionalities, rules, regulations and conventions of the House.
ये फॉरेन पॉलिसी, लेबर कोड्स, सेंट्रल स्टेट रिलेशंस, एनवायरनमेंट इश्यूज, सो देयर इज़ अ नियर कंसेंसस है अपोजिशन पार्टीज का बीच में, तो कंसेंसस है, मतलब ये 6-7 इम्पोर्टेंट इश्यूज ये स्ट्रक्चर्ड डिस्कशंस में आना पड़ेगा. लेकिन गवर्नमेंट का स्टैंड है, देखो मोशन ऑफ थैंक्स का डिस्कशन हो रहा है, उसका अंदर आप डालिए, ये नहीं चलेगा. ये मोशन ऑफ थैंक्स का डिस्कशन मतलब क्या है? प्राइम मिनिस्टर विल कम एंड लंबा रिप्लाई दे देगा, वो रिप्लाई तो जवाहरलाल नेहरू के ऊपर होगा, ये मुद्दा के ऊपर नहीं होगा. इसलिए हमको ये रूल के वजह से ये सारा मुद्दे पे डिस्कशन होना है. अभी क्या हो रहा है? ये काली लिफाफा हमको दिया है, इसमें कोई ब्लैंक पेपर भी नहीं है, हमने प्रोटेस्ट किया है. अभी क्या है? आप सीरियस है तो बता दे, ये क्या है, आपका एजेंडा क्या है? लेट द होल नेशन नोस अबाउट इट. ये गवर्नमेंट का ये तरीका है, ये सस्पेंस टर्निंग बिजनेस है, मतलब किसी को नहीं पड़ेगा. ये रात का अंधेरे में ये बिल ला के पार्लियामेंट में आएगा, बुलडोज करके पास करेगा.
Well, India and the European Union have signed the mother of all deals in Delhi today. India and the EU have finalized free trade agreement, marking a major milestone in bilateral ties. The deal will gradually reduce tariffs on 96% of exports from both sides. Prime Minister Narendra Modi described the pact as India's largest and most ambitious trade agreement, saying that it lays the foundation for shared prosperity between India's 1.4 billion people and European countries. Meanwhile, EU President Ursula von der Leyen has said that the partnership goes beyond trade and will also enhance security and resilience in an increasingly uncertain world, and announced the launch of the first ever India-EU security and defence partnership, marking a historic shift in bilateral relations. A big milestone for India, and there are several goods that can get cheaper, is what we understand, not just for India, but also and then there are these cars that are likely to get cheaper from Mercedes-Benz. Put E-Class and GLC together, there could also be BMWs and Audi, which could get cheaper, is what we understand. This is after there was a quota-based classification that India talked about. Remember that auto is one sector that India is extremely protectionist about, but then it has also allowed the sale of enhanced and high-level cars from the EU to India.
आज भारत ने अपने इतिहास का अब तक का सबसे बड़ा फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट संपन्न किया है. आज 27 तारीख है. ये सुखद संयोग है कि आज ही के दिन यूरोपियन यूनियन के 27 देशों के साथ भारत ये FTA कर रहा है. यह एक ऐतिहासिक समझौता हमारे किसानों, हमारे छोटे उद्योगों, इसके यूरोपियन मार्केट तक पहुंच आसान बनाएगा, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में नए अवसर पैदा करेगा और हमारे सर्विसेज सेक्टर के बीच सहयोग को और प्रबल करेगा. रक्षा और सुरक्षा सहयोग किसी भी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की नींव होती है और आज हम इसे सिक्योरिटी एंड डिफेंस पार्टनरशिप के जरिए औपचारिक रूप दे रहे हैं. इससे काउंटर टेररिज्म, मैरीटाइम और साइबर सिक्योरिटी में हमारी साझेदारी और गहरी होगी. यह रूल्स बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर के प्रति हमारी साझा प्रतिबद्धता को भी बल देगा. इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में हमारे सहयोग का दायरा और बढ़ेगा और इसके साथ हमारी डिफेंस कंपनियां को डेवलपमेंट और को प्रोडक्शन के नए अवसर साकार करेगी.
Prime Minister, distinguished friend, we did it. We delivered the mother